one.
Welcome to Kilgallen's Pub, the podcast where I, comedian Joe Kilgallen, like to sit back, have some drinks with people, and recreate that bar conversation we all know and love. You can follow the podcast on Twitter. That's at Kilgallen's Pub. Also on Instagram at Kilgallen's Pub. Give myself a follow at Joe Kilgallen on everything, especially my YouTube. Guys, subscribe to that YouTube, kids, because that's where I put a lot of the podcast clips, full episodes of the podcast, also my stand-up clips. Big announcement that I announced on the podcast last week was that my album, Can't Complain, will be coming out Thursday, June 20th. So we are about a week away, everyone. And if you are a Patreon subscriber, they already have it. The Patreon subscribers, I'll be honest, the few we have, they already have it. So if you're a Patreon subscriber on that top tier, the $6 tier, you will get a download link to the album Can't Complain, which James Webb did some great stuff on. Hey, James, how are you?
Hey, buddy, how are you?
All right. We also have sitting across from me a returning guest, technically his third time.
Oh, right. Yeah,
Remember? Yeah, you did one of the first episodes. You were on like episode number 4 or something like that. And then you were on the St. Patrick's Day live episode.
the one what people watched all the way through.
Yeah, the 2.5-hour shit show, as I like to call it, which is also available exclusively on the Patreon.
Wait, we didn't release that to the public?
It would have been way too much fucking editing. And it was a lot of sloppiness, and there was probably some stuff where it's like, oh, man, they're going to get canceled.
Chad
Internet's gonna
McDaniel, by
cancel
the way,
them.
just popped in, said he can't wait to hear the album.
Oh, fuck yeah, Chad. Thanks, my man. Chad McDaniel's the best. I love that dude. And it's cool that to have people who like your stuff, but then I like his taste too.
Yeah.
Chad McDaniel will tag me and stuff or share things. I'm like, oh yeah, dude, like Metallica. He's a good dude. I like that guy. Excuse me. But yeah, also, so we're gonna be releasing the album on video on YouTube as well. So that's why I've been trying to get people to subscribe on YouTube, and that'll be free, of course. The only thing I ask is that you share it. You know, if you like it, give it a share. Be like, oh, this shit was pretty cool, or or if you don't like it, just shut the fuck up. Don't tell people you don't like it. I don't need that negativity out there, God damn it. I'm a father of 2 now. But Fernandez was on that Shit Show of St. Patrick's Day episode, and I have got you back here. You famously ended your first episode do you remember when I had you on the first one? It was a long one, dude. We got into some shit. We had a fun. It was fun though. Like nothing negative was said. Probably not. But you ended with the speech from Independence Day. So everyone, go back to listen to that one. The closing minute and a half is you doing the exact monologue that Bill Paxton does in Independence Day, one of the greatest movies of all time.
A little strange how often I get asked to do that.
Because it's so fucking funny, and you nail it. You nail it. I had to buy, because I couldn't figure
Independence Day on DVD?
No. I wanted to, but I got the music from Independence Day. I ended up paying like 99 cents for it to play
the president's
speech?
speech?
Yeah, so I wanted the score to play underneath as you were doing that, just to give it a little bit. That was the last time I put any production value into the podcast.
Don't you have like Spotify or Amazon Music or something? Where you can just download
Yeah, I have Amazon Music now. I didn't have it back then. Back then, I just used the free shit.
So here's my thing with that. You know how they, songs just disappear all of a sudden when you have it?
Why?
I don't know, but they do. Like, just suddenly it's like, this is no longer available, and I don't get it.
They try to make me relog back in, and I'm like, I don't want to fucking sign back in again. Alexa, don't fuck with me, bitch. Dude.
You can't call.
Do you have Alexa?
No.
Okay, people who have Alexa or Hey Google, you inevitably will just get so frustrated that you will say, Alexa, you're a dumb fucking cunt, and I hate your life. And
then she does that thing where she says, that's not nice, or whatever.
Yeah, they'll be like, that's not nice, or I don't understand that.
Remember in college when you did stuff like that you thought it was funny to, like, my buddy used, this is bad. My buddy, that thing that, like, deaf folks use, and they have a person who says it for them? Do you know what I'm talking about? Like,
yeah, the audio.
You type it, and then the person says, like, are you having a nice day? Okay. Like, and then you can talk back to the person. Do you know what I'm talking about?
I kind of do, yeah, basically.
My buddy used that one time to call me and my friend and just goes, "You're a doo-doo head? Is that okay?" Like, just to say that to us. I only was on the receiving end of it, and I didn't think it was funny.
Really?
No.
Come on.
No, I was woke back then. I'm woke today.
Woke is funny as hell because on that famous St. Patrick's Day episode of the podcast, Nolan Rafferty, who's also been on the podcast, good man from Ireland, owns Galway Bay Pub, the best bar in the city of Chicago. He didn't know what the word woke was.
Then he kept saying he was all day.
Well, every time he said something terrible, you go, I'm woke, right? Because remember, so the dude named Nick works there, Nick Flowers, works at Galway. He comes walking in, and you just hear Nolan go, "Yo, Black Nick." And we're just like, "Whoa, dude." And he's like, "What? There's more than one Nick who works here." And we're like, "Oh, shit, that actually checks out." We're
but
just so
he could
used.
call the other Nick White Nick.
I think he does.
Oh, okay.
And then there's a Puerto Rican Nick, but they call him Mexican Nick. I made that last part.
Okay,
up.
I was
don't
gonna
know. I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. But no, they definitely. I think there's more than one Nick. But it would be racist, I guess, if there's Black Nick and then just regular Nick, right? Or if they're like, no, he's just Nick.
No, yeah.
Or
But-
what if that Nick had been here longer though? When you're giving out nicknames, doesn't the person?
I
you know,
think.
so-
Well, probably the more reasonable thing would be just call him Flowers by his last name, as opposed to Skin Color Nick.
Flowers isn't a good last skin color. Flowers isn't a good last name to yell out. Yo,
Yeah, that's true.
Flowers.
That would
Sounds
actually
like you're condescending. Yo, Flowers, huh? Your fucking mother pack your lunch? Doesn't it seem like that?
like you're sending. What does that mean?
Condescending. You're like
Oh,
being like-
condescending.
being
I was like, yeah,
condescending.
Flowers. It's a bad last name. Ask the lead singer of the Killers, Brandon Flowers.
Is that his name?
Yeah, his last name, and he's also Mormon as shit.
Dude, I like the Killers.
I do too. They're a great band.
I
I'm
feel
just
like people
shocked at how
hated on them
religious.
for no reason. Are
Well,
they
they're
really
one of those
religious?
yeah, they're well. At least Brandon Flowers, he's Mormon as shit.
The lead singer of the Killers is
I-
Mormon?
Somehow stumbled upon some like YouTube clip.
Look
of,
that shit up, Jamie.
it up right
James, I mean.
There's a YouTube clip of him and Richard Dawkins on the same panel somehow. And Richard Dawkins starts calling Joseph Smith a charlatan and all this stuff. And Brandon Flowers is like, some people would. Also, yeah, he comes across as a real big puss.
He's extremely Mormon.
Really?
Yeah.
That's crazy to me how you could be a rock star and having some of the songs that they have. I guess now that I think about some of the lyrics, what's that one song? I've got soul, but I'm not a soldier. That could be kind
Yeah.
of religious.
Are we
undertone.
human or are we dancer? Joseph Smith said that.
Did he? I don't fucking know anything about Joseph Smith.
Joseph Smith also talked like he's like one of his speeches. He went on the mountain and he goes, "I'm coming out of my cage and I've been feeling just fine. Gotta be down because I want it all." And
Did
then
it start off with a kiss?
well, and then it ended up like this.
Oh,
I
it
have
ended up
5
like
wives
this.
now, and it's okay.
What mountain did Joseph Smith come down from? By the way, something
The
in
Rocky,
Nevada.
no, the
Sierra?
Salt Lake City. What's the one there? The Rockies, probably.
It's just
right?
funny that a religion was founded in Utah or whatever. Like,
Yeah.
and people were like, "Yeah, this is."
And
this
it's
is
also
it.
just so localized there. Yet they say that the Savior's coming back to Missouri, right?
Yeah, why did they choose those arcs? Maybe they went there on vacation once. Thought this is fun.
They saw the Netflix show. It premiered
Yeah.
back then.
They got drugs and strip clubs and a cute little diner.
It is crazy that just like Utah folks are into it, and their fans, pretty racist.
Utah Jazz.
Jazz fans, yeah.
Are they now?
Well, because Mormons also, like up until the 80s, their religion said, I think, that black folks were less than white folks, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, it's
Want to
no
look that
good.
up too?
What year?
I think it was the 80s.
look up
There's like
Mormon
you could look
doctrine.
up a Mormon YouTube video that like it. I don't
Mitt
even want to describe
Romney
it because
was
it's like
Mormon running for president.
yeah
and they say Mormons
against
were
Obama.
Yeah, who's Muslim, and they say they say that Mormons,
He's not a Kenyan. He just fucks a lot.
Yeah.
You know.
They say Mormons wear like this magic underwear, and they don't drink alcohol or caffeine.
Yeah.
And so it always cracked me up because the Republican Party, and not to get like political, everyone, but they famously, their voters said they wanted a candidate they could have a beer with. And that was one of the reasons they liked George W. Bush over Gore.
Right.
But George W. Bush didn't drink anymore because he was a recovering alcoholic. So
Right.
it's like, you want to drink with a guy you can't drink with. And then they said the same shit with Romney. And it's like, Romney doesn't drink either. And guess who else doesn't drink? Donald Trump.
What?
Donald Trump does not drink alcohol, doesn't smoke cigarettes,
Doesn't do any drugs.
Any drugs because he had an older brother who's a drug addict.
Yeah.
And that's why. He looks at it as a weakness.
That's what they say, though.
Doesn't drink,
Yeah.
orders steaks well done,
Well,
cuts his pizza with a knife and
How-
fucking fork.
how long? But he has to
And
have
he's
drank
tough.
before, right?
No, I don't think so. I think he's always been that type of guy. We got to come up with a fun way to be like, the guy doesn't drink. Not like recovering alcoholic because you went through some shit and it was probably the best you didn't drink anymore. I don't know. I've got friends who don't drink it. It's cool. But if you're one of those dudes like a Trump that kind of acts like you got this macho shit going on
And you don't drink.
and you don't
got-
drink,
yeah.
it just makes you go, because you're the people he
Our Budweiser guys.
yeah, the people he cultivates, that fan base, the ones that are like diehard him, they're the same people who are like, can't trust a man that doesn't drink.
Yeah.
Mm-mm-mm. You know, and it's like, yeah, that's that guy.
Yeah.
He doesn't
It's-
drink.
He
He doesn't like
I find
dogs
it
either.
strange.
He
though.
doesn't like
There's-
fucking dogs.
I just find it. There's no way in the '80s you don't do cocaine when you're as famous and rich as he is. You know.
Yeah, and everyone thought he was a cokehead because he was sniffing real weird and all that. Maybe he was sniffing Adderall.
Maybe
I
there
don't
was
know.
it was a
Maybe it's
mohair
prescription.
sweater. You know,
That's
much
true.
like in the episode of Seinfeld.
That is one of my favorite episodes of Seinfeld, and one of the first time I had the chance to do it, because when that episode of Seinfeld, where for everyone it's called The Sniffing Accountant, I believe it's season 7, season 6, season 7. of Seinfeld. Check it out. You guys seen Seinfeld? Do you guys not know Seinfeld? Great television show. Wonderful sitcom.
You didn't expect a response there, did you?
No, of
Okay,
course
good.
not. I just like to be like, you guys check out this new show, Seinfeld? Pretty good.
Hopefully they said yes in the car.
Pretty good. Yeah, so in that episode, Jerry, I guess it's kind of based on a real life thing where Jerry's actual accountant stole a bunch of money from him. And, yeah, it was. And
Wait, a Seinfeld episode based on something that really happened to him?
get out. What a great concept. It's a show about nothing. Actually, it's not about nothing. It's about your fucking lives. I always fought people on that. They're like, oh, it's a show about nothing. I'm like, that's not nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing would be them sitting around doing nothing.
Yeah.
They talked about things.
The
But
Chinese
just
restaurant would be
ever
the-
since you mentioned sniffing, I've been sniffing like crazy. I got like a bug. You ever get like one of those boogers where you're like, how am I going to take this out in a good way? And our,
I
mic
honestly
arm
just-
is, this
I-
mic arm is
I
completely
honestly
fucked
will
right
just
now.
go
It
in there.
sucks. You'll just go in there? Should I just do
use
it?
my thumb. Yeah, exactly. Like, someone sees that, they get grossed out, go, I'm sorry, I'll wash my hands. All right.
I'm hamming it up for the camera now.
Okay.
So anyway, everybody, the sniffing accountant episode, there was a cool scene where Kramer's like doesn't know the guy, but Kramer has some money tied in that he gave to Jerry to
Is
invest.
that the same episode Kramer says the N-word or no?
I don't know. There were so many. There's just so many that he said that.
Maybe it's Julie Louis-Dreyfus.
Yeah, no, it's when
That would be funny to
she
see her
called
have
Jerry a kike in that episode. Actually,
Imagine though if Julie Louis-Dreyfus was the one at the Laugh Factory who goes, "Shut up! 50 years ago we'd had." The idea of this, like, she's like such a sweet.
everyone loves her.
Yeah, everyone loves her. Just the idea of her. But Michael Richards, everyone loved him. You know.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, Julie Louis-Dreyfus, some people might not know, if she never acted a day in her life, would still be filthy stinking rich. Her family, the Dreyfus Corp or something, big oil money, I think. There's something
She
tied
related-
into that.
there's
James
nothing
Webb's going to look it up.
Nothing related to Richard, right?
No, that'd be
Okay.
cool, though, because I like that dude. That dude's all right.
Hell of a guy.
What about Bob? Huh?
Oh, dude, he's incredible
Yeah,
in that.
Baby steps. He should have won an Oscar for that. I heard him and Bill Murray hated each other the whole time it was filmed, though. Absolutely hated each other.
I'm trying to think. Was Bill?
I think at the time Bill Murray was a dick. There was a few movies there where people were like, Bill sucks.
Did it take him to like lose his career for a bit and then lost?
He
the
did kind of lose
translation?
his career for a little bit. You're right. Lost in Translation was his comeback. Anyway, let me bring back the episode of the sniffing account. There's a scene in which Kramer is trying to find out because they thought the accountant was doing drugs because he was sniffing like crazy and being real like, ooh, is this guy? This guy's our accountant. He's got all his money. We don't need this guy being a cokehead. And so Kramer goes in like the hipster doofus that he is, and he's smoking a cigarette, which you could do in bars back then. And what he does is he downs a mug of beer while smoking a cigarette at the same time, and you see the cigarette, like, you could tell he's inhaling doing both. And then when he finishes the beer, he burps and the smoke comes out.
It's incredible.
One of the coolest scenes in any TV show or in anything, anywhere. And I remember when I was in high school drinking at a party, going, oh, I'm going to recreate this. And I choked. I choked pretty hard because the beer went down the wrong pipe just coincidentally as I tried to inhale, and it wasn't. I think I threw up like an hour later.
Yeah, of course.
It wasn't a good move.
It's impressive because also there's another take you can find of that where he has the cigarette in the beer,
yeah,
and he's drinking ash.
yeah.
It's you know.
He was incredible watching. That's why I kind of miss DVDs. Netflix killed DVDs. Don't you think?
Oh, because you have the special features and all that
Yeah,
stuff.
and the whole digital streaming. I haven't bought a DVD in a really long time.
Well, I mean, our friend Jonah Jerkins. I don't know if he's been
He was
show
on
or
the
not.
podcast 2 weeks ago.
But I mean, Blu-rays still are around because you
Yeah.
can get special features. You can get director's commentary, which generally is boring as fuck. Anytime I've listened to a cast or a director's commentary, they're like, "Oh, this shot was really hard to shoot. It was raining."
Yeah,
And then the scene happens, and you're like, "All
some
right."
of them are cool though. I've seen some that I actually really appreciate and got something out of. But I remember it used to be a whole thing. You're right. The people still sell Blu-rays, but I just don't feel like it's as that
No, not as
industry's
prominent.
definitely taking a hit.
Same with Blockbuster, though. You know.
Yeah, I want to get up. I saw like on eBay like a Blockbuster T-shirt someone was selling, and I'm like, oh, that'd be a cool fucking little thing to have.
So I don't know. Do you feel this way that you
So
also
like make it a Blockbuster night or something.
make Blockbuster great again?
Yeah.
Mbga. Do you miss going to like video stores? Because I definitely thought that was like a fun experience over the week. Like on a Friday or something, you go and you look around. You kind of
I do miss that. I used to buy the 4 for $20 used DVDs. I'd always do. Blockbuster would sell like used DVDs.
Oh, I didn't even know they sold. Maybe I didn't.
They did in their
Okay.
later years. I don't know if you were living at the time, if it was like a Houston thing, but in the Chicago area. Do you remember this, James? When Blockbuster had their previously viewed, and you could get like 3 for $15 or
Yeah.
4, depending how good they were.
Yeah.
The really shit ones would be like get 5 for $20, but if they were like better, it'd be like 2 for $10. If it
Okay.
just came out, I'd always buy those because every time I remember my wife being like, because this is when we were just dating. Like in high school, we'd go to Blockbuster and take forever to pick out a movie.
Yeah.
And she's like, "What? You haven't seen a couple of these movies? Why are you buying them?" I go, because if I rent them, it's like $4. I could buy it as part of this deal, which comes out to about $5 or $6 or whatever the fuck it is, and I get to own it forever. So even if it sucks, I still own it.
Yeah.
So even then, I knew renting is for suckers. Okay, everybody, save up money for a down payment and get your shit together now. But yeah, I do kind of miss. There was something tangible about getting excited because you're walking up and down aisles. You know, they had other stuff there.
And also,
you
it's
know?
a way of like finding movies that you're like, oh, what's this about? This. And then they had like sections like the classics, this and that. Whereas you kind of just go online, but there's so much content as opposed to it was a limited selection in there.
The new releases.
Yeah.
Some staff pick. You know.
Oh yeah, the Seinfeld episode about that.
Yeah.
You know.
You got like some nerd. And
I don't like that show, to be perfectly honest.
You don't like Seinfeld?
It's fine. I do watch it out of like. I watch it because I remember watching it with my family growing up or whatever. But it wasn't. I don't know. It wasn't something that. When I watch it now, I'm like, I prefer like Cheers or All in the Family, you know. And I get that
Those
Seinfeld,
are both great shows, but I don't know why you can't like them all. I don't know what.
I think I need some kind of dramatic drive involved in a comedy show if I'm watching it. Like the Office.
What the fuck was the dramatic drive in All in the Family? It wasn't like an arc.
What?
No, what was the dramatic drive in All in the Family?
Archie Bunker constantly was dealing with like racist shit going on or his own like racism.
That was
with
just life in the 70s, son. You know what I mean?
So that was a show.
You had to
about
worry
not-
about people moving on your block and ruining your property value.
Yeah.
Again, if you renters don't
Like the
appreciate this
Jeffersons.
shit. No, I'm kidding. Yeah. There was such a dude, All in the Family, for real though. I mean, what a great show. And you're right, he was dealing with some stuff. But there are so many lines on that
There's
show.
an episode where a guy tries to rape Edith.
Yeah, and there was one where they broke him with a gun too. Remember?
Yeah.
Yeah, there were some serious episodes. I
And
was kidding
Archie
around a little
Bunker
bit.
confronted some Klansmen one time.
And his son-in-law was a Polak. He had to deal with that every day.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that was true. No, at the end of the day, though, Archie represented a part of America where it's like, oh, you're new, we're gonna make fun of you, and I
it's
think
like
I'm better. But at the end of the day, I don't think. Remember,
You're ignorant,
wasn't-
but you're not like gonna hurt anyone. You're just
Yes.
kind of not smart, and you kind of have a little bit of like my dad loved that show because I think also growing up in Queens, he had met people like that who would be like, oh, Cuban, so you like Mex or you're Mex,
Yeah,
you know, like
well, that part, there was that history of America there where. I think Colin Quinn has a thing on Netflix called like Colin Quinn's New York Story or A New York Story where he just talks about how like, oh, this part of New York was these people. And you know, there was such a big wave of immigrants there where everyone had their little section of the city and you banded together because if you're new to a place, you're going to want to hang out with the people who are like you. That just makes sense.
I feel like New York 1960s and 70s was like the peak of ball busting. Like
Yeah.
people would say anything to each other, but they knew that they were fucking around, so it was fine. Does that make sense?
No, totally. And I missed that a little bit. I had Brent Ernst on the podcast, and he talked about, it's like, oh, yeah, that guy's the Dago, that guy's the Mexican, that guy's the Kraut, that guy's the Mick, that guy's the Jew, that guy's the this.
Keep going.
And it was, oh, my God, for so much more. And that was just kind of like your way of, this is America. Everyone has roots, you know, somewhere else, essentially. Even if you were born here, we know by the last name.
Yeah.
Whenever I meet Europeans and they go, why is it that this guy says he's a quarter French and a quarter Italian and half German? Why don't you guys just say you're American? I go, what's an American last name? There isn't one.
Yeah.
You know what I
Closest
mean?
would be like an English last name like Smith or Johnson or whatever.
Sure, but still, those are Johnson's Swedish because of the son. I think
Oh,
most
is it
of,
really?
a lot of names
Oh.
are son, although some are anglicized. Johnson's probably son of John. You know what I mean? But yeah, they're all names that come from other shit. There's no real unless it's Native American. But who the fuck counts them?
Also,
No.
dude, how like it's weird because I think Native Americans by far have had the worst shake of anyone on the history of the
Oh
history.
yeah, it's pretty.
Also,
brutal.
the fact that their name is Native American, like, yeah, you're home to our land now. Like, you know what I mean? There's something about that that's like
It's like Aaron Weaver, everyone, a great comic, has a joke where he's like, organic food, or don't you mean food? Like, why are you putting organic in the front of the word? That implies everything else is fake.
yeah,
It's like, no, they're Americans, and the rest of us should have a name.
right. But they're not even Americans because it's like this is whatever they wanted, you know.
Yeah, they didn't call it America. They just called it land.
Yeah, it's their land. But like that, what's crazy? Hank Thompson, former Chicago comic, brought this point up that it's like because they were looking for India, they're Indians. But if they'd been looking for Japan, we'd have been like, oh, the Japanese are here, and they would be it'd be called you'd be playing cowboys and Japanese growing up. Like
I think I would like that a lot better.
Yeah, I know. Right? But that's just crazy. Like I don't know. Just it's probably is this a weird thing to say? It's probably the closest thing to a successful genocide, the whole entire Western Hemisphere.
Oh no! Well,
Right?
Oh,
I mean,
in
what-
our hemisphere, yes. I was gonna say, dude, in European and in African
No,
and all
no,
those
but in
other
terms of
continents, there have been successful genocides in other continents.
I'm just trying to think. Well, I don't know. Maybe
And not to even stick up for
James,
North
look
America.
up every
Like I
genocide
said,
ever.
We're just giving him so many things to look up.
But then also put rainbow and see what happens.
yeah,
So see if there's like a happy spin that someone put on it. You know?
yeah. But I think with the American culture thing of why we always identify as other things, I think a lot of it does come down to the last name because there's such a wave of immigrants coming in that people don't even realize now that that wave has really slowed down in a lot of ways.
Yeah. Well, and hopefully even more so once we build that fence.
Thank God, man. Let's get a force.
It'd be
field
great
too,
if it
huh?
was a big picket fence instead of a wall. You know? And Huck Finn and Tom Sawyer painting it, but also fighting off anyone who tries to get in.
Have we tried putting up signs that just say you're not welcome? Maybe that'll save us a lot of money.
Yeah, yeah. Dude, I don't even understand how half the stuff works. Like in terms of he was going to put tariffs on Mexico and then that didn't happen. Or I don't at this point
He's talking out of his ass.
I've stopped following the news for a while now.
You're probably happier because of it.
Yeah.
It's not good, and everything's over. Like they just try to sensationalize shit. I've gone over this a million times, but I didn't talk about this. A Memorial Day weekend is always known as a really bloody weekend in the city of Chicago.
Oh yeah.
First weekend the weather's nice, just an extra day.
Right. That inspires you
More
to kill.
people get together, therefore more chances. You might be like, you know what? Fuck you and fuck your potato salad. Like, you know, and people shoot each other. And but this year murders were down. And they've been down the previous 5 Memorial Days, but the news didn't cover them that way. And
right.
I saw people on Facebook reacting to the news where it's like, this is insane. 37 people? Oh my God, 37 people were shot? This is crazy. Like, yeah, but 3 died. And the year before it was 49 shot and 19 died and blah, 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 blah. It was, the numbers are going down, and not only just people who were shot and people who were died. Because some people said like, oh, the murder rate was higher back in the day because, you know, hospitals weren't as equipped to handle it. But now the hospitals are so good, that's why the actual number of murders is lower than, say,
Right.
You know, anyway.
It is crazy though that we're like, hey, fucking A, 37 people were shot. This is good stuff. Like that's how normal. Like it's like normal to us. Because I remember arguing with someone about gun stuff, and they were like, you know, it's not the amount of mass killings that happen. You're thinking of mass shootings. I'm like, yeah, right. Because 1 died and 3 got injured. You're like, oh, that's not a big deal. Like that.
Yeah.
If someone lost their arm and also got shot, like that, you know, it's just great. Like if 1 person dies and 10 get shot. And other people are just there. They're traumatized forever. If a balloon pops, I'm sure they freak out. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like it's
totally. Someone had a tweet about what the fuck was it? A service. Someone who served in the Army had shared it, so it wasn't like just some guy being wise ass. Like the U.S. Army had a tweet that said, "What has serving done for you?" Excuse me, give me a second. I gotta sneeze. Talk, Joe, so it's not dead air. I'm sorry.
But no, I know. I just didn't realize a sneeze would take that long. I thought it'd be a
I
quick
thought it was
little
gonna be
shoot.
quick too, but hold on.
I'll wait for it.
Actually,
Actually,
it
you
might
know
have
what?
just gone away. I'm sorry. I just it was a fleeting sneeze. I had the sensation, and now it's gone.
I had the same thing happen with erections.
Oh, that sucks,
Goes
dude.
up, goes back down. I
When I-
still try and shove it in.
When I come, I call it a dick sneeze. You still try to shove it?
Yeah, I call it. The ladies call me floppy lasagna noodle job. Floppy lasagna. What is? Yeah, I think that's what they call me. I don't know. The
Who
nickname.
listens to women anyway, right?
Dude. Yeah.
They're so long. You want nicknames.
Yeah, I
Too
mean,
many details.
I believe them because I know it's true because I try and fuck with a floppy dick, so I believe
At least
it.
there's effort.
Yeah,
At least you try.
and if it gets in there, and if it
Oh,
comes,
it counts.
Yeah.
That's another notch on your bedpost.
What if you could come with a flaccid dick? Would that be impressive, or would it just be kind of like, how
It'd
come
be
you can do that?
Sad as hell. It'd be impressive and sad.
I'd be impressed.
That'd be the circus act I would want to be, because you wouldn't have to do much. Like
Well-
having a balance on a tightrope, that's too much work. But trying to come out of a floppy dick.
What's harder, bouncing on a
Yeah.
top rope or coming out of a floppy dick? If someone put a gun to my head, I'd probably cross that tightrope a lot quicker than I would coming out of a floppy dick. Oh man.
There's got to be a way. I don't know. I'm gonna figure it out and do it.
All right. I like how we're bouncing
Tell
from
you what,
floppy dick talk
in-
to here's the problem with the government.
1 month, I will come back here and I, on camera, will come out of a floppy dick.
That's where it's sneaky. Because you could just be like,
And
look
I'll
at my
lose 10
dick, and all of a sudden you're
pounds.
like, oh man, it's shooting at me. You know? Because if someone pulls out a hard dick, like at a party, thinking they're being funny, you'd be like, dude, what the fuck, man? You'd back away. If they take out like a flaccid dick, you'd be like, dude, come on, put that away.
Yeah.
But because you want to like move away.
It's
'Cause
weird.
a hard dick could shoot at any time. It's a loaded gun, literally.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, there were so many mass comings last month. On Memorial Day weekend, that's the most mass comings in Chicago.
So many that I've already
But
forgotten
and only
about
3
them.
people got cum on their
I'm
face, but 37
desensitized.
people still came on. It was like,
Silver
butt,
lining,
tits, pussy, whatever. But like 3 people had
Where's
come on
your
their
favorite?
face.
What's your favorite body part to come on?
You know what? Hamstring.
Hamstring.
Flip it over, put it there. I got a snort out of James.
Yeah, man. You want me to say mine?
Yeah.
I like to come, like, on the back of the woman's knee and then shut it. You know, it's like it's all sticky. You know,
So what? So she can't walk for a day or something? Like
just so the next day when it crusts over, she remembers the good time she had the night before.
No, so it's like a keepsake.
Yeah, for sure.
I sometimes what I'll do is I'll take a picture they have that's framed and like their family, take that out, come inside that, so that way they can forever look at my cum.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, no, it's so they can remember me. It's that's a cut scene from Casablanca too.
See,
Humphrey Bogart
that's why
says,
we
well,
missed the
he
DVD
goes-
director commentary, man.
He goes, "We'll always have Paris," and then he comes in a picture and
Is that oh yeah, that's in the Casablanca. We'll always have Paris.
we'll always have Paris. And they cheers, and then he goes, "Of all
Do you
the
know who co-wrote Casablanca?
the Epstein brothers are
Yeah.
fucking Theo Epstein's
Theo
like
Epstein's dad and,
Yeah.
and uncle, and our
No, well,
grandfather,
grandfather,
and great
right,
uncle.
yeah.
Yeah, not his dad.
talk about a great uncle. He wrote Casablanca. You know,
Pretty great. It's a good dude right there. Dude, man. I'll tell you this.
I thought that was another pause for a sneeze that may or may not.
I
be happening.
honestly, for a split second, I thought it was coming. What the fuck were we talking about 2 seconds ago, though? We're
coming on stuff that you
talking
shouldn't
about
be coming
genocide and then coming. Is genocide the
genocide
opposite
always-
of coming?
on. You know, well, I mean, I guess it's reducing the population.
Yeah, there probably wasn't a lot of sex during, like, the Holocaust.
Yeah, you
What?
know what?
I'm not
no,
being.
No,
Is that
this
offensive?
Hang
I
on.
wasn't meaning to be offensive.
This is a road we should go down. How much fucking happened in the?
How much sex was had.
There's a play called Bent, actually. That's
That's why they call them
about.
concentration camps. Really to concentrate. To fuck. All right.
What do you think they called it that?
Oh man, what, dude? It's because I'm tired. This is becoming a different podcast.
This just in: Joe Kilgallen is canceled. Also, this just in: Young Sheldon is canceled.
What?
Yeah, how
They
crazy is
cut
that?
young Sheldon.
I like the
That's
idea.
sadder than me being
What I
canceled.
just want to do that. And I don't watch TV
Everyone
anymore.
knows I'm
that's-
kidding, by the way. Come
What?
on.
Yeah.
People know I'm kidding, right? You guys look.
Um,
I'll look in the camera and apologize to all my Jewish listeners. Although Jewish people would find it the most funny. You know who's offended? The white women watching at home. You're always fucking offended. Stop being offended all the time. Okay? Read a book. Go for a walk. Hydrate. You won't be offended for other people. How annoying is that? Wouldn't you be mad? You're a Fernandez. How'd you look if they were like, hey, I'm really sorry that they, were fucking not nice to you for a little bit there and they wore a sombrero and they're cultural appropriating your culture. Wouldn't you be like, get a fucking clue?
There's a bit I only did it once at an open mic drunk because Casey Lorwood has a bit about how she was wearing a shirt called Homo that said Homo Estats, like gay pride, and someone accused her of cultural appropriation. And I went up afterwards being like, was it a white person? And she was like, yeah. And I'm like, yeah, here's why my dad wouldn't be offended. Also, he's Cuban, so obviously, but like if someone was,
Why is it when I hear the word Cuban, I think of The Mask? My name is Cuban Pete. I
don't even remember that scene.
There's a Cuban scene where The Mask, he sings the Cuban. He's like, bum, chicka, bum, bum, chicka, bum, bum. It's good. It's a good movie. Have you never seen The Mask?
No, I have, but I still.
All right. Well, you forgot your Cuban culture. If you
Well,
did an Irish jig during it, I bet you'd remember.
Let's put it on right now.
Do we watch The Mask?
we pull-
James, could you cue up The Mask
I'll
on
get
this
The
TV right here?
Um,
I'm sorry. Go ahead though. About
No,
your dad.
well, he was just saying, like, I
By the
just
way, your
told.
dad, handsome man.
Are you joking?
I would have sex with your dad.
I can't tell if you're being serious or not.
Excuse me.
Pull up a picture of my dad and put it in front of the camera.
No, I'm joking about you. You make jokes about fucking your own dad.
Oh yeah. No.
That's-
Man,
that's you.
the Father's Day card I got him. I wrote in it today.
Oh my God. What did you
And
write in your dad's Father's Day
It's
card?
always some. So the one that today was I got him a Father's Day card, but it was for a husband, and it says like, we celebrate Father's Day because you couldn't keep your hands to yourself. Just saying. And I put, we saw you and I have been having sex for 5 years. Just saying. And then I go Happy Father's Day.
Oh, he must be so proud.
Yeah, dude. But oh fuck.
While you think of that Nolan Rafferty message, us saying David Allan Coe was a Mormon. All right, fun fact. Nolan.
David Allan
And then,
Coe. Who's that?
David Allan Coe? Who is David Allan Coe? Singer, right?
Sure.
I don't know. All right.
That was just a famous pedophile.
Probably. Go ahead with.
Okay.
He sounds familiar then.
Yeah.
David Allen Greer.
I have his
He's a
rookie
singer.
card.
Yeah, I've heard his stuff. He's good.
I have his rookie card, David Allen Coe.
Oh yeah.
The pedophile trading. So, Sandusky's obviously the one you want, but
So Casey Larwood did a joke about having that shirt, and someone accused her.
yeah,
of
and so
culture
then
appropriation.
I just decided to tell I was like, I'll tell you why my dad wouldn't care about that because he saw people get their heads cut off during the revolution.
Yeah.
So that's why I've always thought about this. So, like people from like the Middle East or like South America, Latin America who come here, they're willing to work shitty jobs because they've been through way worse. Like, they work at a convenience store because they're like, this is way better than worrying about someone in my family getting murdered. Whereas, like, I don't know what the term would be. Like,
They have perspective. They appreciate
right.
stuff more. I always used
and they
to-
don't care about like someone called. They're just like, I'm just happy to not be in a threatening situation right now. Like, that's why my dad. Like, I told the story. My dad. So, I think they went on a road trip to Florida or something. They went to the South, but they didn't realize how racist it was. My aunt's black, so like they went down there and they were. My aunt was forced to like wait in the car at a restaurant because they wouldn't let her into it. That's always something I find funny too, is that Cubans are like the only like Latino people that Americans are okay with because it pissed off a rival government. Like that's,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Because it pissed off Castro and they were like, we'll take your people. And then he got mad. That's why he cut off people being able to leave. My dad's still on a traitors list. Anyone who left is now.
Yeah, can never go back to Cuba.
Yeah, that's why he can't go back.
Does that piss him off?
I think there was like a store he liked to go to when he was growing up that he'd like to see again. It's like this.
I wonder if I
cute
were
little-
banned from Chicago, what would I miss the most?
Yeah, but when you're 9 years old too, like how much would you even remember of it?
Yeah. I heard they still have all the. If you go to Cuba right now, it's still all these old cars from
Yeah,
before
it's
the embargo.
like
all these 50s cars from the 50s that they just took good care of.
that's why it's annoying how much people will like talk about Castro or like Che Guevara as heroes. It's like, all right, well they fucking executed people in a brutal fashion.
Who thinks
and, like,
Castro's a hero?
there are people because he stood
People
up to
think
America.
Che Guevara, I get it. Oh, okay, whatever. I don't know, man. Like
Hip little Harvard students because they talk about American imperialism
during lunch, because Joe and
in
I
the
both,
country they live in. By the way,
Yeah.
it's like
I like how people like there are those type of Americans who would be like, America in our imperialistic ways are the same people who will wear a Union Jack on their fucking shirt. Like, oh, you didn't realize where we picked up imperialism from? The fucking British?
Right,
you didn't
right.
know that we took that from them? Like, the sun never set on the British Empire was once a slogan because it was fucking true.
right.
The English had so much, they colonized so much shit around the planet that literally the sun never set on their empire.
Right.
And those are the same people who were like, think, oh, the UK, fuck yeah, I'd love to go to London for a summer.
But also
And
don't
then they
live in
hate on the country they live in now, America.
I guess it's just one of those things that like don't.
And I'm not knocking. Look, I love British. There's tons of English people I get along with. Great. I'm not knocking them, but I do find it funny if you're an American who trashes us for imperialism, but then ignores the imperialistic history of the UK.
Right.
Right. I don't know.
No, I mean, like, of course, America's done horrific shit abroad, but it's one of those things where it's like everyone has, right?
Yeah. I mean,
like,
yeah.
like Genghis Khan, but no one ever talks about straight Mongolian men being the problem.
Yeah.
Because I mean,
like-
he's like the worst of everyone.
See, I like that
You know what I'm saying?
You can
Like-
say this because see, James, this is great because James and I will talk about some stuff like this, but it's like, oh, we're both white dudes, you know. Joe is Hispanic, half, but still,
And then half Irish.
and half Irish. The good half. No,
Cancels it. Yeah.
But fucking dude, Joe and I were both on set today. We both were part of a commercial shoot. Your name is Joe.
Oh, they said Jonah, and I was like, oh.
No, Joe and
Yeah.
I. Oh, I can see how you thought Jonah. Joe and I, Jonah. And I talk fast. I get that. So, but during lunch, I ended up in a conversation. There was a woman. She was really nice and stuff like that. But they were talking about like the history of the United States and the fact that the history, like the country started in such an under, you know, slavery and there was bad shit going on and all that. So was it ever really good?
Yeah.
Yeah, if something, you know, starts in such a negative spot. And then I just kind of was like, well, you know, I get that. I totally get that. And America could always be better. And there are things that clearly we need to work on. I still think, comparatively speaking, we're a great country. And great's a bad. I don't like using the word great for anything.
Especially, well, also because of who uses it now.
Yeah, exactly. That's true. It really did sour the word. We're still a very good country, and I still think the ideals are there. But obviously, there's corporate interest, and there's all these powers that be that control shit and fuck over people, which is bad. But my greater point was this: yesterday there was a country in the middle of, I can't remember, an African nation yesterday just finally made it so that you could be gay. That's no longer illegal. There are several countries around the world where just being gay is against the law. You know?
Yeah.
And like
Totally.
that dude Andrew Schultz, who Webb and I have given a lot of respect to on this podcast, he's a comic out of New York.
It was Botswana, by the way.
It was Botswana who did it? Thank you. He talked about, he's got a show called, I think it's called Inside Jokes or something. It's on his YouTube channel. And he's got other comics on, and they all try to work out their most offensive joke and figure out why it doesn't work.
God damn, I should go on that.
You should,
oh,
yeah. You've got some good ones there. You'd be perfect for that. And he talked about how they're always saying the white male patriarchy is so evil. And he goes, yeah, but the white male patriarchy is like the best of all the patriarchies. And the whole joke being like, yeah, like the white male patriarchy in America might make it, they might make, I'm sorry, I can't speak. They, meaning like whatever powers that be, want to make it harder for you to get an abortion, but we don't want to cut your clit off. You know what I mean? Like,
oh, I see what you're saying.
That's what he means. Like, of all the patriarchies, the European white model is better than a lot of the other ones. Like, everyone always talks about how shitty we are to women. This isn't me trashing other countries, by the way. I know you're giving me a look like this. Might be I'm not being racist. I'm not doing anything. I'm just saying that, culturally speaking, we get trashed a lot.
By the way, I was just getting horny. That's all.
That's what it was? Sweet. All right, well, I thought you were getting a little fidgety there. I just thought perspective-wise, and we were talking about immigrants. I've never met an immigrant I didn't like. I really mean that. Even grade school kids that were my age, most of them were pretty cool. Some of them were smelly assholes, but most of them are pretty cool.
Smelly?
Dude, I went to a Chicago public grade school that had like half the kids were immigrants that graduated from the school. And my 8th grade graduate class list, I think almost half were immigrants. And I would trade... Give me more immigrants and get rid of these 4th and 5th generation Americans who don't appreciate shit.
No, right.
Or entitled or lazy or just think they know shit or always complaining about other things that I don't know. I like the idea of people being more aware nowadays. That's great. I think that's when I hear people who are against the Me Too movement, I'm like, no, the Me Too movement's great because it's shining a light on these assholes. Like, rapists should be in jail.
Yeah.
We should all want that.
Speaking of
But then there's the woman who complains about a guy who... Then there's someone who says, oh, well, the 95-year-old man at my diner grabbed my ass once. Let's cancel him, too. It's like, that's not the same as what these real women went through with real problems.
Right.
You know?
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I've thought about, there are two aspects of it. One is that in terms of the offensive joke thing, I have one bit that I've always wanted to do, but it's just so hard to work it where it's like, I like the Me Too movement because hopefully we get rid of all the dudes who are awful in terms of sexual assault because it'll make it easier. This is so bad to have a one-night stand because then they don't have to like figure out if you're a monster or not. Like all us dudes who are not monsters should be in favor of that because it's like, yeah, I mean, pretty much if you're trying to meet someone,
you're just trying to say it makes it women be.
But then it's like also it's like, oh, so you're just trying to fuck us, like that kind of thing. But
no, but it's a good thing now. Women, dude, you talk to women want to fuck and then not see you again the next day.
I've always
they're more and more
thought that too,
out
but like
not a lot of them. But more and more coming out.
Well, no, but that's also the shaming of like women shouldn't like not being like that's not supposed to be what they're about. I guess or like it's not ladylike. I guess is quote unquote. But like the whole point being that it's like if we get rid of those monsters, you don't have to like convince someone, hey, by the way, I seriously want to have consensual sex with you, and if you don't want to, that's fine. But like that but it's like. They don't know because that's something that one of those murderous fucks would say also. You know what I mean? So if we get rid of all those dudes, then it'll be a little more open and free to have sex if you want to have sex or not.
I like the thought process of get rid of the bad people so I could do something that you might consider bad, but you'll trust me enough because the real bad guys are good.
Right. Or that's the weird way to try and like get it.
No,
to
I like
make sense.
I'm a big fan of any kind of process of elimination type style of thinking. I remember I was at a party. This is like probably about 5 or 6 years ago now. And my one friend was like, I don't know.
I will say, by the way, it's tongue in cheek. Like it's.
Oh no, yeah. Of course,
I mean, that's
dude.
why it's like.
Yeah, of course it is. It's annoying when people don't realize you're being tongue in cheek.
Yeah.
I've done this joke twice. One time it did well, except for one person didn't like it, and I had to deal with them kind of as like a heckler. And then I did it on Friday night in Crown Point, Indiana, and it did really bad with the women who were mothers, but the women in the crowd who weren't mothers thought it was funny. The whole joke was about like sucks. You have to, after a woman gives birth, you have to wait like 6 weeks to have sex again.
Is that true?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's like doctors recommend you just had a baby come out.
9
of
out
you.
of 10 doctors say don't fuck after your
Don't.
wife
Yes,
has a kid.
do not fuck and chew trident. But my whole joke was about like.
By the way,
6
that one
weeks, this is
doctor
bullshit. Like
is-
just obviously I thought I was being obviously over the top about it. And they were just like, nope, did not like that joke. But a couple of the women actually, the first time ever, audience members gave me decent advice because they were like, maybe try it a little bit later because you did that like your
Oh,
second
yeah,
joke
no,
in.
it
And I'm
matters
like, oh,
when
that's
you
a
do
fair.
it.
No,
Yeah.
that was the first time I ever got good advice from an audience member. And I knew the advice, and again, it was only the second time I did it. I thought it was just fun to go from, we just had the baby, and then here's something. And I thought I was being so obviously tongue-in-cheek about it, but, it's hard
Yeah.
to read from some people. Or they hear the thing that pisses them off, and they're like, yeah, I'm already mad. I don't care how you handle the rest of this.
It's weird because I was thinking about this today that, like, I have a hard time selling some of my jokes, especially in terms of, like, being a dude who sleeps around or whatever, because people look at me and, like, think I'm a douchebag as soon as I walk on stage, first of all, and I'm sure you deal with that too. You know what I mean?
I
Like,
deal with that. I don't know how you deal with that. Why do people think that about you?
I don't know. I've heard that there's, like, an audience member who used to go
No, I mean,
to...
you're a good-looking guy, but you
But
have
if
a
you talk
beard.
about-
You
if you-
don't dress in any
I know
way
that.
No, I
But-
dress in a way where people are like, "Fuck this guy." What, are you wearing a parka? What are you
Right.
doing? You know.
But there's something wrong with wearing a parka.
I think parkas are great. You know.
Yeah.
I took that from that's style from Ireland and the UK by British friends. So
Yeah.
I trashed you guys for imperialism earlier. Like your fashion though.
Hey, way to recover.
Way to recover. But yes,
Um,
you deal with that too. I didn't think you do. I know
No,
I
I
deal
mean,
with it. Jonah deals with it.
I've had people come up to me and tell me, and this like fellow comics who are like, when you talk about that, it sounds like either braggy or douchey or whatever. And it's like, I try and put it in a way. I try and put jokes in a way that it's like, I talk about how I don't like the way I look, and then on top of which, like, I try and make it be like, look, I'm not saying this. I'm saying this because I used to sleep around out of like a sad, lonely place, but I don't think. The audience members still don't see it that way or whatever. I remember, but an audience member who used to go to camp a lot,
Camp Everyone's a show on Monday nights in Chicago.
he used to go to concentration camp a lot to bring it all back.
There's an open mic there.
Yeah.
There probably was though.
It's-
Come on, all those Jewish people in one place. You know it, man. There's so much talent there. Oh, that's the saddest part about the Holocaust. All these great comedians that we lost. You know, I think about it a lot.
Oh man, me and James are letting you sit in it, but it's not.
I was hamming it up by looking at the camera like this. It's a joke. Come on.
Yeah, I know.
My
I agree.
Jewish friends were trying to
I'll
find
tell
it
you, if
funny.
the cameras weren't on and these microphones weren't on, I'd have been on board.
Dude, the funniest people I think are... You're like sliding out of the camera as I say this shit. No, what if I said we lost a lot of great comedians in the Holocaust? Look, obviously there's so much more tragedy there to that, but you have to, like when Jonah Jerkins was on two
What if they
podcasts
gave
ago,
the
he was
ones-
talking about growing up with heroin addicted parents.
Yeah.
We were making jokes along the way.
Yeah.
You have to find funny in horrible shit, and
This
that's what
is-
we have to do as comedians. That's our job.
Do you think there was like a symbol for comics also, like Jewish?
Oh, so you
it was
Star
like
of
it was like a
David?
microphone.
It was like a microphone wrapped in the
Um,
Star of David.
What were we just talking about though? Right before that, this is the
Oh,
problem
I'm
with
sorry.
getting-
We were talking about.
So there's a dude who used to go to camp a lot.
Oh, yeah,
And
yeah.
I guess like he had seen me the first time, and he came to some show at Laugh Factory that was like a roast show. I was up against Alex Clace, and I did a couple bits about him having cancer, and the audience wasn't on board for it at all. Yet I doubled down and kept doing cancer bits the whole time, and then eventually went, "What do you guys know? Someone who died of cancer?" but like the audience was really taking exception to it, and I get it, but it's also like we're on a roast show, and I know this guy. I'm joking about his having cancer. It's not like I'm saying like all cancer patients. My aunt died of breast cancer. Like everyone knows someone who died of cancer.
Exactly,
Like it's
yes.
It's not like I'm coming from a frame of reference of just like what is it a bad disease?
Death and
is
disease
it like
are hard to
athlete's
make
foot?
fun of.
I don't understand.
Athlete's
Like
foot.
I mean, obviously everyone knows that kind of shit. So afterwards, though, this guy who had gone to camp, actually one guy came up to me that was a stranger, and he goes, "Yo, your cancer shit was on point." So apparently, a couple people who liked it. I don't know
That's
if
the guy you sign up for your cult,
yeah.
right?
But
No,
this,
dude, it's
this
fun-
other
yeah.
dude came up though, who's like, "Oh, I like Samantha Berkman was on the show too," and she's like, "This guy said you were his favorite set," and he's like, "Yeah, I saw you a couple times at camp, and initially I thought this guy's a douchebag, and the more I saw it, the more I got it, but like initially I think."
People just
I think
used to
people
say
think,
that to me.
and
I had
think
people
people
say,
think
"Hey,
also-
I hated you when I first met you, and then I thought you were a frat boy." People said,
Yeah,
it's
and
funny because it was not in a frat.
and they're yeah.
Couldn't get into a 4-year university that would have a frat, and then
And also, it's hard to come on a cookie when other guys are trying to do it too, and then eat it if you're the last one who does it. You know.
Dude, I'm coming limp, son. I didn't want to admit it, but I could do that trick. I could do it. No.
But yeah, I mean, it was one of those things where it's like weird because you try and figure out a way to present yourself. Like, there are some comics, like actually McLaughlin and McMahon are two guys who are really good at immediately letting the audience know who they are. And it gives them that leeway to go a little darker and more, like they know they're being tongue-in-cheek. So it's just weird. It's trying to figure out navigating that to let them know, like, hey, a lot of this I don't actually, I'm being facetious. Like, I'm joking.
There's always going to be some things with certain audiences, though. Like Bill Burr, it cracks me up to me that when he starts in on a joke about women or about, like, population control or whatever, you'll hear the audience still recoil, where I'm like, the guy has been doing this shit for 7 albums or 7 hours of specials and whatnot and appearances on all these shows. How are you still surprised about his takes on this?
Yeah. Well, but I mean, is that a comedy club or is it?
I just feel like his audiences in general. Maybe it's not always his audience, but I don't know. I feel like he's established enough where he does Conan a lot, where he just sits on the couch, but he's basically doing
his act.
His act in a way. It's not like Comics Unleashed, but. He's basically setting up his thoughts, right?
It's weird, though. I think you'll agree with this. He has a bit that's so accurate about Tom Brady, where it's like if he gets out of the pocket, you're like, I could take this guy because he is not mobile. But like that, he talks about the Falcons Super Bowl where when he threw that pick six and he went to go for the guy, he's like, it looked like someone threw a dead body out of a car.
Yeah,
and it's the most accurate description of that play because that like looked like, oh, this is the end of the Patriots, right? That's like. The signifying play, that's the end of their dynasty. And I remember that night I had a show at Laugh Factory, and I was like, oh, it's 28-3, so it doesn't matter, I guess. And of course, the only thing I've ever wanted to see was a Super Bowl go to overtime. And of course, while I'm, doing the roast of Kanye West, that's what
you guys doing.
Yeah,
that
it was
night?
a fun show, though. I will say it was a great time.
It's a good Super Bowl too.
Yeah,
yeah. I've had it where you have to. It's hard to establish yourself in one sentence. Like I have a joke on the album's called Can't Complain, and I have a joke that's the track title's called Can't Complain. And I notice a lot of comedians, if you watch late night sets, especially everybody, you comedy fans listening to the podcast, so many of them, the comic's opening joke is some sort of self-deprecating joke.
Yeah.
That initially tells you something about them. All of them. You know what I mean? A couple examples.
I mean, I was Shane Torres.
Ian Carmel, nice guy. I've met him a few times. Funny dude. I'm not knocking any of these people. He's got an opening joke. My name's Ian Carmel. I sound like a British chocolate thief.
Yeah.
There you go.
Shane Torres opens up saying, I look like Native American meatloaf or something.
Yeah. Megan Gailey, one of my best friends, her, a good friend of yours too.
Yeah.
She talked about Megan being a dumb white girl name. So it's either about their appearance, their name, or their background. I'm half this, half that. John Roy, I'm 40 years old. I wear hoodies. Like, what kind of dork am I? So many of them. Ron Funches, I got this funny voice. Like, it's all that. So when you're incredibly handsome men like we are,
but that's
what are we going to make fun of?
So that's the thing that's crazy is that it's like, that's why I try and talk about, because like, this sounds weird to talk about, but like, I don't like the way I look at all, right? So it's weird.
Come here, I'm going to kiss you right now. I'm going to give you a kiss on the mouth. Get across the table.
What are you, Joe Biden, and I'm Lucy Flores? Sniff my hair, bitch. Oh, that's something we were talking about earlier, by the way, which I will say this, that, like, as someone who wants Trump to lose, I do think – I love Lucy Flores, by the way. Like, I think she's – I don't know if you've read her seen her policies, the way she votes. Her background's incredible, too. She used to be
Didn't she say she wasn't even annoyed by that or whatever?
Oh, so did she just bring it up and then people made a big deal out of it?
Yeah, a few of the people
Lucy
said –
Flores is the best.
A few of the people were just like – yeah, I mean,
if she was just bringing it up casually,
I
didn't know how it all.
Yeah, he shoulder rubbed me. I didn't fucking bother me.
Oh,
Joe
okay.
Biden.
I thought it was that. Okay,
or maybe she was upset about it. I don't know. I don't
and
know.
Like
Lucy
what he
Flores
did
is
is creepy. I will say this. So I was talking with a fellow comic, Kristen Fenchek, about this, and we were saying it's like how most people would react to that is to just be like, yeah, dude. Before I went on stage, Joe Biden sniffed my hair. It's fucking weird. And then you move on. It's like people do weird stuff.
Well, he's
all
got
the
a
time,
history of it.
Like,
they showed like a montage of him meeting people from when he first ran for Senate as a 29-year-old. People forget that. Everyone's talking about like AOC's 28. This dude was 29. He turned 30 before he got it because that's the rules. When he was running for Senate and won, and then 6 months after that, half his family died. His wife and kid were in a horrible car accident. The guy
I didn't even know that. Holy shit!
Yeah, Joe Biden dealt with that was the thing that he slammed Sarah Palin with. Sarah Palin kept being like, as a mother, and he goes, "Don't talk to me about raising children." because he was a single father taking the train to D.C. from Delaware because he had to raise the other two kids. Their mom and I think his wife, daughter, and son. The son survived, but the wife and daughter were dead in the car accident. This was a few months after he became a United States
The
Senator.
film Rain on Me is based on him, right?
I don't know. Rain on Me. Is that Adam Sandler?
Adam Sandler.
What is that? Yeah.
You know that reference or no?
No.
What?
No, I don't
No
know that
idea.
reference, but sorry. It's okay.
I guarantee
Got any
there
fresh
is
ones for us?
one person who enjoyed it.
One's all we need to keep us going. One listener at a time.
You know, yeah.
But yeah, look, with the whole Biden. Anyway, he's just one of those dudes. I've got my problems with Biden for
And no
other
one's saying
issues.
also it is weird.
No,
No one's
it's
saying
weird.
it's not weird.
No, it is weird. Like some people, like when I was in 8th grade, for all those listening, grew up in Chicago. We went to Washington D.C. on an 8th grade class trip. Again, didn't even grow up a wealthy area. We had to raise a lot of money for everyone to go to D.C. and we took a bus. We didn't fly. Took a bus from Chicago to D.C. A bunch of 8th graders, and it was actually a great time. And we met our congressman. And he gave us a little speech on the steps of the Capitol building about, being a citizen or some bullshit. No one was listening because we're in 8th grade. And I was like, oh, you're in Congress? Fucking go jerk yourself off, dickhead. We don't give a shit. And as he walked through the crowd, I had my back to the dude, and I'm talking to a friend, probably about to make fun of what we just saw. And I was a couple inches taller because I was about 5'10" in 8th grade. The dude gave me a little shoulder rub and said, hey, doing their sport as he tried to make his way through. I turned and looked. It was the congressman. And that congressman later became governor of Illinois. His name, Rod Blagojevich.
Oh yeah.
Rod Blagojevich gave me a shoulder rub. Did not ask for permission. It was unwanted. He shoulder raped me, and I didn't feel good about it for a long time. But no, it's just that's just how those dudes were molded in the hey, you make people feel good by giving them a hug, and shaking hands, and kissing babies, and grabbing them tight, and letting them know what's up. And no one had a problem with it during the Obama years because they were like, oh, that's Uncle Joe. But now it's like, oh, you want to be the president? No. Which is funny because it's so much less than what those people hate Trump. Right, James? These people are like, Trump's a sexual predator. He fucking sucks.
Oh yeah.
And yet they're like, Biden, hugged me too tight. But Biden's leading in the polls still. Isn't that weird?
Well,
He's leading in some polls that are skewed. So
Could be.
I'll say this. I mean, I think
James was about to say something.
Oh yeah.
no.
Were you?
I will not go down this road, Joe.
No, what road? About politics?
Yeah, I'm not gonna go there.
Why not?
Why?
Because
Come down the road with us.
Well, it's not a political
put that-
road.
I don't want to be in this.
Hey,
car
I'm
right
not,
now.
dude. I'm not endorsing Joe
look,
Biden. I'm
look,
just saying
look.
that.
Yeah, I don't like him
I'm
either.
just saying that he's not a fucking rapist. That's all I'm saying.
No, he's not a rapist, and it's important to draw those lines and make
It
those
is, actually,
distinctions
yeah.
for sure. But I understand the point of like the whole. Let's maybe not have that guy be president.
No, I don't.
No,
I don't want to be president.
Yeah, I
either.
get that. I'm not voting for Joe Biden.
Yeah.
I get that. I just don't
If
like
anything,
the
though,
extremes
I mean,
of.
The thing that I think more is the Anita Hill shit. That's why.
Oh
it's
yeah,
like,
that was that alone. That was shit.
Yeah.
He was shit during that whole fucking thing.
He also
And-
doesn't like weed, and he doesn't. He's weird.
He's an old man.
He's not the guy.
But I will
But
say,
if it's
but
him
I think
versus
that,
Trump,
right,
you're
exactly.
not voting for him. You'd rather 4 more years of.
I'm gonna wait until.
Here's
I
the thing:
would even
Trump's
have to think
presidency
about
hasn't
that.
affected us much.
I haven't done my taxes this year yet, but I've heard it fucks performers a little bit.
It does a little bit with your write-offs. It does.
Yeah.
They actually, it's the fucking.
But that's
tax
what's
is so
weird, though. I
man.
don't even give a shit. But that's what's. So I did a bit. I only
Yeah,
done
Texas,
it once.
his tax system did not help middle class
So
people at all.
that's what's so I just turned 35 like 3 weeks ago or 2 weeks ago, whatever it is. So, but I did a bit saying like it's just weird because now I'm fiscally conservative, socially fiscally
conservative,
socially liberal.
That's
Right, but it was,
standard.
but basically, it's like a way of saying like, and I'm like, it's just weird because now I got to learn how to value money over people, because that's what it is. I mean, it's just like crazy. People vote on their tax dollars over like, look, I know the transgender ban in the military is bad, but I got to put these kids through college. Like kids in cages, more like my kids through college. Like that's what they vote on.
No, that is
I'm
true.
not, but I'm serious. People,
Yeah,
they
because
value
look at-
money over
look-
people.
Yeah, and I'm not a fan of that. But look at where most of the country is. Do you know how many transgender people are in the United States estimated?
Here we go.
I looked it up not that long ago because I was curious, and I didn't look it up to like downplay, because even if there's only one and they are treated like shit,
Yeah.
then fuck that. You know what I mean? But it's like 800,000 is estimated.
Yeah, it's 0.6%.
Well, right.
0.6% of the
still,
population.
How
Which,
much
look,
of your
I'm
money
not-
does it matter if
No,
it
it
means,
doesn't, and it
you
would be a
know-
penny out of everyone's paycheck to help them out a little bit, or
no,
whatever
to
it is.
not have a monster in charge. Like, that's what's so crazy. Some people are like a lot of the people who support Trump, they're like, yeah, he's an idiot, but I want this, and it's
No,
like
they're just justifying voting for him. They voted for him because he wasn't Hillary and had an R next to his name. They didn't like him. Some people did. Some of the really crazy people, like the people who come out of the woodwork who are like, we're going to have our own militias in Idaho. We love that man because he's our, you know what I mean?
But I'm just saying-
got sold a bill of goods. But I know Republicans who voted for him simply because they're like, fuck her. If the Democrats would have ran a random generic name that no one even heard of, like that guy Martin O'Malley who was running for a while, he would have beaten Trump.
Or Jim Webb.
which, by the
Jim
way,
Webb would have beaten Trump.
the
Easily,
Wire,
Jim Webb would have beaten
the
Trump.
Wire's based on Martin O'Malley, or what's the dude?
Martin O'Malley was mayor of Baltimore
I think
before he
that,
became
that Tommy
governor.
Carcetti's based on him.
Oh, really? Yeah, he was.
But I'm just
mayor
saying, like
before he
that.
became
People who say
governor,
fiscally conservative, socially liberal, but they put their money before like their morals. That's why it's like insane. It's just like the other type of people that
because
let
everything's about what affects me personally in my day-to-day grind.
over. But it's like
I'm not agreeing with them. I'm just letting you know where they're coming
no, for sure.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, like, it's just crazy that money, like the percentage of tax, it's like it depends on what. Like, there's a study that was done that's like if you make $100,000, anything you make beyond that isn't going to make you happier.
from. 70
all-
grand was the number.
70, yeah.
70,
Huh?
yeah. The
70?
number's 70 grand, yeah.
That's why it's insanity. Where it's like you don't. What are you concerned about
know
that
what?
you're like that? That's the thing. So letter from Birmingham jail when he talks about the moderate white. It's like, sorry, this is a weird thing for me to be
Who
bringing
talks
up.
about with the moderate white?
His name was Martin Luther King Jr.
Okay, well, you didn't. Real quick though,
I said letter from Birmingham jail.
Sure, but all right.
But he
I
talks
should
about
have known that. But you normally when people go into a Martin Luther King quote, they mention his name. They don't
I
just,
refuse
you
to
know.
give him credit.
Okay, I don't. I'm not just gonna go like
I don't know who wrote it.
in Profiles of
Um,
Courage. You're like who? JFK. Duh. Like
But it was talking about how the moderate white is the biggest threat because it's like these people who know it's wrong, what's going on, but like he says the KKK is not the problem. It's the people who have the power to change things. They know it's wrong, but they're like, I don't feel like.
Well,
putting
because
the
the
effort,
KKK is a small fraction. You know where they're coming from. Where
They're also
moderate is
almost
a huge number.
They're also somewhat unchangeable to a certain extent.
Well, yeah, definitely. But also, it's a smaller number. People, and right now, the biggest problem I feel like the biggest problem, but one of the biggest problems in society is everything is so I'm blue, you're red, and no matter what, this is my team. We've treated our political parties like they're Yankees, Red Sox,
Steelers,
Michigan,
Cowboys,
Ohio State,
yeah.
Steelers, Cowboys, whatever rivalry you want to choose, in which no matter what, I have to blindly support because that's just the way it is.
Yeah.
And that's fucked. You know what I mean? People should be outraged.
Is it though? It's kind of fun.
I don't know. I think it's fucked because I've
It's a little silly, don't you think?
I've called out Democrats on a lot of shit just because it's gotten so annoying to me. Because I see Democrats having better ideas. When you have better ideas and you lose, there must be a reason. And I see the reason is just these people everyone who runs Democratic. Think about the people who run the campaigns. Where these people, they don't know how to win. These are people who lost at every intramural sport in grade school. Like, these are the fucking people who are picked last for everything, and they're trying to win. And they don't know how to win. Where the people who run Republican campaigns were like, dude, I was skipping class and smoking weed in the
That
parking
is
lot.
not
And
true.
You're not smoking weed,
no.
but like, I don't know, man.
They're just the ones who survived. Like, all the cool people in the 70s died of drug overdoses, so we're left with all the lame people, and they, like, learn.
Yeah, the cool people in the 70s still didn't know how to win fucking elections either. Think about the fucking history of that shit. All right, let's go the last 50 years.
Okay.
Say this is 2019, so what was 50 years ago? 1969?
Tell me about it, honey.
Jesus.
Yeah.
All right, so 1969.
Call it by its real name. 19 people laying on top of each other, putting their genitals in each other's mouth.
Okay, 19 people laying on top of each other, putting their genitals in each other's mouth. Also a great title of one of the Stooges' first album. Iggy Pop. All right, so who was president in 1969? Richard Nixon. When did a Democrat?
Hot in his own right.
Yeah, so we had Nixon. He leaves office. You have Ford, another Republican. Carter gets elected in 76, but becomes president in 77. You have him till 81. Then you have Reagan, Bush, 12 years Republican control. Then you have Clinton for 8 years, Bush for 8 years, Obama 8 years, and now Trump, right?
Yeah.
But during that, so much of the Senate was controlled by Republicans. Democrats actually had the House for a very long time. And even before that, like, they just were so bad at losing big things that people eventually agreed on. When you're bad at having the right ideas and you can't sell those, like universal health care, they can't sell because for some reason they got people believing that I shouldn't have to pay for that when you really kind of are anyway. Because if I don't have health
You're
insurance,
paying way more money, and
yeah.
also it'd be coming
And
out of the
it's a worse-
paychecks of people who, Also, I mean, it's
well, if I get shot in the leg and I don't have health insurance, do you think they're not going to take care of me? No, they do. And that's you paying for it anyway. So like, take the insurance companies out of it. We have people believing that insurance companies need to be part of health insurance.
Yeah.
They shouldn't. It should be just between sick people and the fucking hospitals and doctors.
Well, there's another issue. If you go beyond 50 years, it was like how JFK wanted to have a head, right?
He
And it
did.
got blown off.
Yeah,
And they
that
couldn't
sucked.
sell to Lee Harvey Oswald, let JFK have a head.
I know, man.
Those are the
fucking-
issues that the Democrats can't
And that's
win
when
on.
Democrats were cool. They were sexy. They were
Yeah,
fucking.
they
They were
were-
fucking movie stars.
Marilyn Monroe, and yet still they couldn't
Marilyn
convince
Monroe,
Lee-
way hotter than Stormy Daniels.
Tell me about it, honey.
Yeah.
I can't believe they couldn't sell Lee Harvey Oswald on let JFK live.
Yeah, that was a
you know?
sad one. You know.
The other day I was talking to someone and they said, "Show me your O face." I said, "How about I show you my Jackie O face?" I went, "Oh, where's my president's head?" You know what I mean?
Who the fuck asked you to see your O face? Nobody, right?
No,
That
of
was
course
part
not.
the
I
joke?
just wanted to squeeze
was
that
good.
in.
Jackie O face. I like that. It's good.
Can I have one as well?
Yeah, you can take that one
Yeah.
right there. We're drinking old style beer by the Heilman's Brewing Company out of La Crosse, Wisconsin. We should get them to
Shout out
sponsor
to La
this.
Crosse, Wisconsin. James, you look unhappy.
I'm fine.
James
Okay.
just disagrees
How you
with everything
doing?
we're saying.
I don't. Yeah, you're right. I hate it.
You think JFK should have gotten his head blown off?
No, I'm glad he's dead, dude.
Well, he wouldn't still be around anyway right
No.
now. He would have died of syphilis just like Al Capone. Wait,
Sorry,
hang
I
on,
actually
wait.
started to text someone
is
during
it,
the fucking
I was going to say, is
podcast.
this
So
a
rude.
segment where we text people?
No, I just
All right, hang
saw a
on, let me
missing text
see.
from someone. Don't be that guy. I fucked up.
see.
Listeners, I apologize.
Hang on.
For doing, do we have anyone in the chat? We can say what's up to the people in the chat right now.
Chad McDaniel's blowing it up.
Thanks, Chad. Who else we got?
Jassy Mann said classic show about All in the Family.
Oh, no, All in the Family had such great lines. Let's go back to All in the Family real quick. There was a line where...
Hey, let me just respond to these.
Don't fuck off, Fernandez. Come on. There is a line in which he says, you got these...
Wait, what is the expression?
it's Archie Bunker. I'm saying one of
Oh,
the lines he
Archie.
had.
Okay, yeah.
He says, you got one black family moving in. That's a minority. You got two. That's a ghetto. He's talking about his good black neighbors. There was another line where he said, what is all this African American and Mexican American and Puerto Rican American? Back in my day, we were all Americans. If a man was a spick or a spade, that was his own business. These are fucking. If you guys are looking at me like I wrote the fucking lines.
No,
okay?
Norman Lear did.
Norman Lear, and these are he had a cast of writers, I'm sure. You think he wrote every fucking episode?
No, but I mean going back to what I was like, my dad liked that show because he got like, there's no room for irony. Actually, my buddy said this too when I was at Chuck because he came up to me and he's
every
like,
minority I've ever met loves that show.
yeah, but he came
Not
up,
all of
he's
them,
like, we're
that's
kind of in
generalizing
a
people.
he's but. But he was like, we're kind of in a post irony situation where that show would never make it on the air, even though it's making fun of Archie Bunker.
Totally,
Which
he's
is
the
crazy.
he's the
Like,
butt of the jokes.
yeah.
He's the idiot.
Yeah.
He's the meathead. Ooh, I just Matrix that fucking show. I
Nice,
think.
yeah.
Is that what that means? The Matrix something?
We'll make it mean that.
I saw the Matrix, but I can't remember any of it. I should probably watch it again.
It had Keanu Reeves, Lawrence Fishburne, whose
Keanu
daughter is in
Reeves.
porn.
Is Lauren Fishburne's daughter in porn?
You did not know that?
No.
Did you know that?
James Webb. Let's get Lauren Fishburne's daughter.
TV's on. Let's
Do you not know that?
I know now.
You guys didn't know Lawrence Fishburne's daughter did porn?
No.
Give me an
What's her
Shit.
name? Laura Fishburne?
Her fish burns up top.
Gross.
Oh yeah, that
is
actually,
gross. Man, I never understood
dude,
that.
I felt gross saying it, and I felt even grosser high fiving it.
Well, I was already halfway there. Well,
And I feel gross because I haven't showered in 7 days.
That's lovely. What I can't stand is when people make jokes about women's vagina smelling like fish. In my head, I'm like, what women are you hanging out
I've
with?
never had that experience
Never.
ever. Yeah.
What is going on where I just never got that
Also,
notion.
everyone's genitals smell if you've just been out and about. Like, if
Sure.
you fuck after jogging, yeah, it's going to smell because sweat, it's like a second armpit down there for
It
everyone.
must be one of those jokes from like way back in the day before people bathed that some guy made, and everyone was like, yeah, true. And that just kind of stuck around, and everyone's like, yeah, not anymore. They don't smell like that way anymore.
Yeah, yeah.
So you know those that nerdy jerk off kind of dude in your class that kept a joke going, and you're like, it's just not. It's not a good joke
Yeah.
anymore. That shit died.
Did you
ran that
ever
into the ground?
put Gold Bond in between your crotch? To make it
A
out?
friend of mine tricked me into putting it on my testicles.
But
I
it
didn't know
doesn't
what I
do
was
anything
doing.
anyway.
No,
Well,
it
like
burned. It hurt.
no, but you know how like people said you put
They-
Gold
they-
Bond
they
in the
pepper sprayed
crotch
my butt.
area to make it not smell in case you ever got in a relation situation.
No, that's not what I was told. I don't
Oh.
know why I put it on, but someone said to put it on, it feels good. And I
Huh.
put it on, it did not feel good.
I mean, I was doing that for
I
a
got
bit.
tricked. I didn't know what the fuck I was putting on.
It's amazing how many nights I put Gold Bond on to no avail. By the way,
Yeah.
it was just I just go home like, all right, I put Gold Bond on my junk for nothing
Did you?
because it was
ever-
to make it not smell in case anything happened.
Why don't you just shower with
No,
soap
you
and water
shower.
every day?
But then if you put Gold Bond on, apparently it was like antiperspirant for your genital area, so it wouldn't smell.
What the fuck is Gold Bond for anyway? What's its actual purpose?
Medicated powder
For what, though?
For what?
for you.
For me.
James is trying to turn us on right now.
Mm, it's working.
Montana Fishburne, everybody.
Montana Fish. She goes by Fish, so she doesn't hide the fact that her dad's Lawrence.
Nope. That's there. Montana
Wow.
Fishburne.
What is Lawrence cool with it?
Gold Bond medicated powder. has
I
a trusted
don't
heritage,
think. How many dads do you think are okay
triple
with
action
that?
I don't
Right.
know. It's a brave new world out there. You know that's next.
George Orwell.
Some
Um,
dad.
What's next?
By the way, George Orwell did not write A Brave New World.
Wait, who am I thinking
Aldous Huxley wrote A Brave New World. George
no,
Orwell wrote
Elon
1984.
Musk wrote a Brave
George
New World.
Orwell wrote George Orwell wrote 1984. Aldous
No, Orwell wrote
Huxley,
Animal
I think,
Farm,
and 1984.
not Brave New World. Okay.
No, Brave New World is Aldous Huxley,
a
I
brave
believe.
new world.
I read the book a long time ago. I can't remember
new
a lot of it though. They
fantastic
take pills,
point
Soma
of
pills
view.
or some shit.
What
in
are
Ford We
Soma
Trust, I think.
pills? By the way,
Are
do
you
you
gonna see
think
the new Aladdin? You're gonna check that out?
I'm not gonna see that.
Heard it's great.
What?
The live action Beauty and
Heard
the
it's
Beast
great.
was the shit because Emma Watson.
I didn't see that either.
Emma Watson's beautiful.
I don't like these nostalgia things. I didn't see the what was it? I didn't. So I watched Jurassic World. Was so pissed off. I'm like, I'm never doing that again.
You didn't
Didn't
like
see the-
Jurassic World
No.
where he's like training raptors
That
and
no,
shit?
but that and then also that somehow that new dinosaur can speak to raptors. Do you know what
Dude,
I'm saying?
it's a
like,
movie. What the fuck do you want?
I
from
know,
it?
but it's just-
dinosaurs aren't real, bud.
It's,
Well, they are, but not
Wait,
anymore.
what?
They once were. They're extinct. Wait, what the fuck did you just say to me?
hang
What
on.
did
Then
you
what did I see just a couple days ago on the red line?
A lizard.
Oh, shoot. Well, they're
Lizard.
tiny dinosaurs.
They are.
aren't
They are kind of tiny.
I thought they
cute
just
little
grew
dinosaurs.
up, and I just didn't see them around the city anymore.
Well,
Kind of like how tornadoes don't hit Chicago, but I know they're there.
because they need the room. They need space.
Dude, I'm so glad I live in a place where there's no, although fingers crossed, knock on boner, but it's what I call wood. But hang on. So
Yeah, you're glad you live in a place that doesn't
that has
have
like what? No earththings like L.A.
Yeah, no earthquakes, no,
no
hurricanes,
threat, no constant threat of a terrorist attack in New York.
Yeah.
Not the Midwest where there's tornado. Like just a pile of wind shows up and destroys your home. Why would you want
We
to
get
live
some
anywhere?
floods, but that's just
Yeah.
Oh no, my basement carpet sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of anything else in Chicago. Like, I mean, I guess you can cut polar vortex.
Well,
if
we
you want,
do
but-
lead the nation in murders, so that's a thing, I guess. Could get mugged. By the way, the liquor store
Also,
down by
getting
your
mugged-
house, I never feel comfortable in that fucking
Mishka's?
place.
That's great. Mishka's rules,
Not
dude.
Miska's at the corner at Western and not Western.
Well, let's give my exact street address.
I'm
away.
not sorry, but Miska's is fine.
7,000 North
Miska's is on
Elwood.
Belmont. This is on Damon and Clybourne.
Okay.
I basically just kind of told people, but I
Yeah,
didn't
you
tell
sure
people
did.
where. I told him he lives near that intersection.
Yeah.
Fucking knock on 4,000 homes, and you might figure it out.
And then also, what are you gonna do
that
here?
liquor store rules, by the way.
I don't mind it, but
I
there's
love
been
it.
times where I've been in there where I'm like, oh, I can see this place totally getting robbed right
Also,
now.
it's kind of crazy thinking about someone being a criminal, just listening to random podcasts, being like, "God, give out the address
Yeah.
so I can fucking go to that guy's house." Someone listening to
My wife
WTF
did-
being like, "What's the fucking cat ranch? I want to go. I gotta figure it out."
That was in Highland Park, I think, in L.A. But dude, it's funny you mentioned that. It reminds me of. I remember leaving this is years ago. The blinds open in our bedroom. My wife would be like, "Could you shut the blinds to that?" And I'm like, "We are up high. Do you know what are the odds of someone staring through at our bedroom window, going, "This is the day. This is the day a naked woman's gonna walk right across, and I'm gonna finally see some tit." I'm like,
And then if you do,
you walk by briefly, no one the chances of someone staring there with dick in hand, ready, very slim.
My dad said when he was growing up in New York, he had a buddy who used to like spy on women. And so when he went over and saw him doing that, It was like some woman they went to school with. It was like 8th grade, and
It's like George McFly.
yeah.
Yeah.
And so this woman's name was Irene. My dad's like, "What are you doing?" And he's like, "Well, she gets naked." Da-da. So my dad shouted while she was changing. He goes, "Irene!" And then he ducked, and the woman looked and just saw the dude there.
I love that shit.
It is the funniest. I mean, there's a lot of stories, but a couple of them are not. Can't in terms of what my dad would say. My mom was dating some dude, and my dad said offensive stuff about the dude to get my mom to stop dating him.
Good for him.
But while my mom was walking with him on the street, my dad would shout stuff at the guy.
This guy doesn't put gold on his balls. Real stinky
Yeah,
down
yeah.
there, you know?
But
Yelling out fun shit like that.
yeah. Oh, I was gonna say though, if you get mugged in the city though, I mean, maybe because I grew up in a city, you grew up in a city, right?
Yeah.
You know, there's so many things that I guess it's just you didn't. So I was with another comic. I won't name him because it's probably embarrassing for him. But we were at Sluggers. Went to the Cubs game Tuesday. We're at Sluggers. We leave. Everyone knows first of all that yayo means cocaine, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Or
so
blow.
he just says to these guys like, "What's going on?" And they're like, "Oh, hey, how's it going?" It starts talking to him like casually, and then they're like, they grab his phone. He's like, "Oh yeah, take my number" or something. I forget how this all came about, but he gives his phone to these guys, and this one dude's on his phone for a while, and I'm like, God, is he stealing his financial information? Because you know how people can like figure
Totally.
shit like that out. And so then the guy asks where we're going, and Paul. Oh, shit, I already gave his name.
I was going to guess who it was. It's fine.
Is that really
The
who you
listeners
thought?
don't know who you're talking
Yeah,
about.
yeah. So anyhow, he's like, "Oh, we're going to the Red Line," and I was like, "Why would you say that?" So then the guy's like, "Oh, I'll walk you there," and it's like, "Why?" And Paul's like, "Sure."
Well, Paul's
So
from
he's
the suburbs, so this
I
is
know.
why.
He's
Close. It's border.
he's
It's
an
near
adult.
the,
Like
yeah.
I mean, it's been a while living in the city,
It's
right?
a close suburb, yeah.
I feel bad telling this story now, but
You didn't say his last name, and you got to finish the story.
although
now.
comics all know.
Well,
who
the
I'm talking
majority of people listen aren't fucking comics. I try
Yeah.
to tell that, like.
about. But they
Anyway.
aren't comics. That
No,
listen?
I don't.
Oh.
I don't know why people. This is why Chicago comedy is number 3, and sadly, is not. This is not a knock on you. It's a cultural thing where we just assume that anyone who supports us must be local and must be a comic. No, I know my fucking numbers, and the majority are outside. About half my listeners are in Chicago. The other half are not. So maybe even a little less on some weeks are Chicago. So that I always tell listeners whenever they do a Chicago reference, I tell if someone goes, "Oh, it was at Pequod's," I go, "Pequod's is a very popular pizza place in the city of Chicago, incredibly overrated. Go on." Like I do that real side
Yeah,
note
yeah.
thing.
Mhm.
Like when you said camp, I go, "Camp's a comedy show on Monday." It's not a knock on you. It's just this is what people do naturally, and I want Chicago comedians to get out of that fucking mindset because
Yeah.
New York and LA comedians don't fucking do that because they're like, we're the shit.
Yeah,
But Chicago
yeah.
comedians are still like, well, maybe one day we'll get to them. Fuck that.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? I could have given other examples of bro comedians. I could have said Chris D'Elia has a problem of being like considered a bro comedian, but I use you and Jonah instead because it's like I think you guys are just as good as those fucking guys. The rest of the country just hasn't caught up yet.
Yeah, yeah.
Anyway, go on, my man.
Oh, so then this guy we start walking towards Red Line, and then as the guy makes the run on Addison towards the Addison Red Line, that's a train station in Chicago.
There you go. He's doing Bobby Sanchez now. The whole time Bobby was on, he'd be like, "That's Chicago's a city in Illinois. Illinois is in America."
Did he
this
do it
guy.
like after you made that reference?
He did
for it?
that. I told him because they were fucking going real hard on Chicago references.
Oh,
I
okay.
was just.
Yeah,
Dude,
yeah.
I'll show you. I got this app from SoundCloud. I can show you that. Like, I've got.
You
there-
just want to text.
Dude,
someone.
I corrected my UK knocking because I know I have UK listeners, and I think I got Australian listeners from Gareth Reynolds because he's real big over in Australia. And I had him on the podcast.
So I pull Paul away, being like, "Hey,
Yeah,
let's just
United
go to my
Kingdom,
buddy's
Australia.
place, huh?"
I said United Kingdom, Australia. I'm showing him numbers.
Oh,
The
gotcha.
stat. That's a stat thing from.
My friend nearly got robbed. Thank you.
Okay, let's hear about your friend.
But so I go, "Hey, let's just go to my friend's place," and pull him away while the other guy crossed the street. I don't think he even noticed we turned. I was like, "Paul, this guy clearly wants to rob us. Like, what are you doing?" So I was like, "Let's just wait here for a bit." So we go to the Red Line after a bit, and we're just standing talking. And I'm like, "All right, Paul, I'll see you later," because I'm going north, he's going south in the Red Line, and the dude then suddenly shows up and hops on the train with Paul. So I hop on the train with Paul then after that point. Paul's still talking to him casually, and I'm like,
Did he get his phone back?
"Oh, he did. No,
Okay,
the guy
good.
just took it, and I was like, just check your financial information when we made the turn." But then we get to the Belmont Red Line. He only has one more stop to go. He told the guy what stop he's getting off on.
God, what the fuck? How fuck was he hammered drunk?
He was hammered. I will say, Paul is a fun drunk. He's a dangerous drunk. Because then I hung out with him 2 days later at the Cubs game. I'll tell that story too. And it's
I
like,
want to
but
go
like,
to the Cubs game.
dude, come with Paul Miller, and then fuck. I said his
You
last
said the last name.
Jesus Christ.
Dude, editing is too big of a pain in the ass, so we're not editing that. Are you gonna edit that?
We're live. It doesn't
We're
matter.
live. We're not fucking editing that. Anyway,
Paul
go
Miller's
ahead.
a great guy, by the way. I just want to make
I-
that
I
clear.
love that dude.
He's
I
a
think he's
fun,
fucking
funny
hilarious.
comic. He's a great
He's nice
dude.
as fuck.
Yes.
Hilarious. Great family. I met his family when I did a show up in Evanston with him. I love the dude. Anyway, go
He's
on.
an amazing person. I
We're
just want to
not
make that
knocking
clear.
him. Some
Yes.
people are just too nice for their own good, though.
That's the thing, and he's like, oh, I just trust people. I'm like, dude, in a city, you can't do that, you know.
No.
So then I go, let's get cheesies. We hop off at Belmont, and the guy doesn't hop off with us. And then he's like, he wanted to take the train to Fullerton. I'm like, that guy's waiting for you at the Fullerton stop. So we walk down. He takes an Uber home and all that. And then Thursday he's going to the Cubs game, and he like paid for this is because he's a good person. He goes, come to the Cubs game. I'm like, I don't got any money. And he's like, I'll pay for your ticket. You know, you help me out on Tuesday. We go, and then we go to Sluggers again. They have dueling pianos at this bar, Sluggers.
Yeah.
It's right by Wrigley. And he just like thinks it's okay to walk up to the microphone. One of the piano players steps away to try and sing. And this other piano player goes, no, no. And then she goes, trouble behind you to the other piano. She called him Trouble.
Call him Trouble.
And also,
I knew you were trouble when you walked in. That's the Taylor
that was
Swift
a song. That
I
was a
can't
song
sing.
they were singing.
Was that the song? Wow.
Yeah. But also, I won't say who we were with. I keep having this mistake.
I know who you're with because of your fucking
Yeah, I've seen
Facebook
the
pictures.
Yeah.
Oh, well. Oh, fuck.
Another person who's got a podcast coming out on this network?
Yes.
Oh, is that actually true?
Anyway.
Anyway,
All
go
right.
on, go on.
Well, now.
You don't have to say the name. Just make
All
up
right,
the
I
name.
know. So a tampon fell out. And Paul Miller.
Oh, wait, it was
Bobby-
a female
Yeah.
person?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know what woman you were. Oh, now I know. 'cause you
Okay, yeah.
mentioned her
Bobby
name
Buds
earlier.
grabs it, thinking it was just a random one on the floor.
Why would he grab a random tampon
Well,
off the
it still
floor?
was
Is he fucking
wrapped. It
gross?
wasn't like.
Oh, it was wrapped.
Yeah, it was
Oh,
wrapped.
okay.
So then
So
he
the tampon fell out of her? That
No,
happens to
no,
women?
no, out of the purse.
Oh, I thought it was like a used one.
No, so Bobby grabs it and then he hands it to Paul. Paul opens it up, dips it in beer, and starts throwing it and like threw it against the wall. Man,
You said Bobby. Yeah, we know who you're talking about. Bobby Buds.
no, but, well, it doesn't matter.
They
At the
don't.
end of the day, you know what?
Body Buzz is a
I'm
comic who's been
lying.
on one
I've
of the
been
past
lying.
podcasts. Listen, everyone.
Okay, yeah, I've been lying.
I don't
this
mind
whole-
when people mention guests who have been on the podcast.
Okay,
You know,
dude, you should have Paul on though.
I would
He
like
would
to
be
have
a
Paul.
You
That'd
really
be a
should.
fun one. I would love
He
to
was
have
Dude,
Paul.
on
make
one
that-
of these, and he was great.
I
He's
would like to have him
very.
on, yeah.
He's a nice, funny guy.
No, he's
Let's just make
fucking
that clear.
hilarious.
Yeah.
I've seen him. He's very funny. He's cracked me up many a time.
Yeah. So anyhow, I didn't mean to divulge all that information about
No,
him.
but it was basically we're talking about. You know, you started with you saying Chicago doesn't have tornadoes and stuff, but we have muggers. Man, I've seen situations where I remember the people will rip you off, and I remember being in high school, probably like a freshman or a sophomore. We got in the habit of pegging for alcohol. You know what pegging is?
I mean, I've heard of the.
For you national listeners, pegging
Mm-hmm.
is a term. I don't know if it's national, but in Chicago, pegging for alcohol means you stand outside a liquor store. And when an adult walks by who looks cool, you're not going to fucking ask some
Yeah.
librarian-looking woman to buy you alcohol. You go, hey, mister, if I give you some money, will you buy us some booze? Standard transaction. Most of the time, not most, maybe say 4 to 5 times you'll get a guy going, But then you'll get the guy that's like, oh, yeah, what do you want?
if
And
you
then
get a blue collar Chicagoan, they'll do it.
they'll do it, no problem, right? And this one time, we were waiting, and my one friend asked these dudes, and they were, we were teens, 15 or so, and these guys were probably like 23, 24. And I remember as I actually fucking had the money, and my friend asked, but then I handed the money over, and as I did that, I saw my other buddy look over at me and be like, no.
Don't give him the. Yeah.
Yeah.
You give him the money after he comes
It's
out.
actually my
with
buddy Michael Pecco's like my oldest friend in the world who I still talk to and have a beer with every now and then. He was on the podcast. Pecco, if you're listening, I probably told this story the episode you were on. I repeat too many stories, everyone. And he was right because the dude fucking they went into the liquor store, bought themselves shit, came out, and we were like, well, where is it? And they were like, oh, no, it's right over here. We're just going to do it this way. And then they walked in, got in their car, and then drove off. I remember that moment. I tried to look for a rock because I was going to throw something. I think I did throw something. I didn't hit it because
Yeah.
it took me too long to grab something to throw. But so badly.
it just hit a minority in the face, and then people thought you were
Dude,
a hate crime.
yeah, probably. I fantasized about grabbing like a brick, and as they're peeling away with our $20 bill, fucking throwing it and hitting it in the back windshield and shattering it.
Yeah.
And being like, I just paid $20 to shatter your fucking fucking windshield, and then running off because they were way older and more of them, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, you get ripped off in a lot of ways like that.
Well, when you're younger, you are dumber. I mean, I remember being in Tampa with my cousin, and some dude said he was going to buy us booze and get us into a bar or something. And we were in Ybor City, which is like a trashy. I mean, it's like the only one of the two places to go out in Tampa, but it's also trashy as shit.
I have
this
Tampa
dude's like,
listeners.
Do you really?
Yep.
Oh, then they know Ybor City, and they know not to go there. But other than if you're going to go see Joe Kilgallen,
Laurel, what's up? She's cool. She listens to the podcast.
Oh, okay.
Lives in Tampa.
But this guy took us to some other neighborhood, and we walked like a mile probably, and we go into this bar, and it's like shady as shit. We go in there, and everyone's looking at it. Like, it's one of those I'm trying to think of an example of a movie that this happens, where they go, oh, you know what? Maybe Animal House would be a good example or something like that. I don't know. But these people are like just like eyeballing us, and my cousin's like, we need to get out of here because I think like we're not welcome here. And so we get out of there. We had already given the dude money. We're like, let's just get out of here. And it's just one of those things that where it's like, oh, we weren't thinking. We just trusted this dude. But we were the people who it's like, you're not from around here types, people looking at us. And you don't think about it when you're younger. Like, you just kind of think everyone's chill, everyone's cool. Yeah. What's the skinny on pissing if you got to do it?
Go piss.
Oh,
That's
there's
okay?
a bathroom right there.
No, I know, but this is going on.
No,
I mean,
me and James will talk while you
we'll
piss.
chat.
I've had to get up and piss several times, and I've left my guest with James. Go pee. Go pee. We're gonna wrap up in a little bit.
Well, hang
but
on, you got a diaper or what?
I can get you one. If
just
you
take your
want.
dick out and piss on the carpet.
Hey, how about I come on the carpet with a flaccid dick?
Oh, promises.
It's called a callback.
Promises.
Improv.
All right, James.
Yeah, buddy.
What's going on, man? Tell people what's going on at the podcast network.
Shit. Well, yeah. So Bobby Buds, as Joe mentioned earlier, just started a show with Todd Massey, who you just had on this podcast.
Yes, he was on the last episode. Yeah.
They just started a show called Hillary. You may have heard a clip of that in the last episode of Kilgallen's Pub. The first episode of that is out now. I highly recommend that. Yeah, shit. Your album comes out when? Next week?
Comes out next Thursday.
Next Thursday.
So if you'll be listening to this on a Wednesday.
And where is
So I
the?
need you to upload this right after we leave.
Where's the release party?
The release party is gonna be at North Bar on Friday, June 21st. North Bar is in like the Wicker Park neighborhood on North Avenue. I forget the exact address, but near Ashland.
It's like 1633 or something.
1633 sounds about right. And tickets are available. I've got a Facebook event page, but tickets are available on their website, which is like at North Bar. Just type in like live at North Bar at northbar.com in Chicago. So if you're in the Chicago area, please come out to that.
I'll drop the link right now.
Yeah, drop that link. It's only $10 tickets, and it gets you. I'll give you a digital download link, so you get a free link to the album, so you can have the tracks. You don't have to buy it on iTunes. And look, my first album opened #1 on the iTunes comedy charts. I'd love that for this album, but I really just want people to hear it. I don't give a fuck about the artificial. It was a #1 album. Look, that's great and all that, but the last album I didn't put on YouTube. I've got some clips of it on YouTube now, but this one we're going to have all the tracks on YouTube as well. Whether that is released on that same Thursday is probably unlikely, if I'm being honest with myself, because that's 9 days from now.
Yeah.
And James and I are still ironing out a trailer and some other shit. So
Close, man. This trailer looks good. I like it.
yeah, so I'm hoping this weekend James and I will be able to cut up all the tracks, because cutting the tracks won't be that hard, really.
No.
If you got the 3-camera shoot and
So we
all
got
the angles.
We got a couple questions. Is it just digital, or will you have physical copies?
Did Chad ask that?
Yes.
I remember him asking that before. Chad, I'm not going to make my own physical copies, but I'll have a thing so that if you order on Amazon, they will send you a CD.
Oh.
I know Chad probably wants me to sign one because he ordered my other album signed. The reason I'm not doing hard copies this time around is, although I made a great profit off the hard copies the first time around, it just was so much harder to move them, and you have to invest a lot of money up front.
It's easier to make them now, though, because like you said, you can have a site kind of do them at.
Yeah, but even so, I
As
ordered
ordered.
1,000 last time, and it almost cost me $1,000 because I got them less than $1 each.
Yeah.
I just don't have a grand lying around to do that like I did at the time I made my first album, because I have 2 kids now, and
Is it weird to say? I don't know how you do that.
in major cities it was really hard to sell the album because people would be like, "I'll just listen on Spotify, I'll just listen on Apple Music and all that," and you'll still get a fraction of a cent. Or people would actually buy it. Every now and then I'd check my numbers and be like, "Ooh, I just sold a new album. I didn't know where, but an album sold." 'Cause
Yeah.
I get the the sales reports. But for the hard copies, I would sell those in towns like your Appleton, Wisconsin's, your Cedar Rapids, Iowa's, your the mid-sized cities in America. They have like 100,000 population.
Yeah.
Your Toledo, Ohio's, your Lansing, Michigan's, your Fort Wayne, Indiana.
Lance Ito,
I don't know why I named
Michigan.
Fort Wayne. I've never performed in Fort Wayne.
Lance Ito, Ings, Michigan.
Yeah. But
Obviously, I'm losing
Chad,
it
you
here.
know what? Maybe I will make vinyl. Do you have a record player? Or maybe I'll make a few. I don't know. Maybe I'll make a few. I just can't order them in bulk. It just doesn't seem like a good investment this time around. Everything's more digital now. Everything is just people want it on their phone. They want it on their computer at home.
I'd say get 100 just for the road, and only make 100.
Maybe. See, I want shirts.
You can also
on
do
the-
flash
shirts
drive.
Shirts move better on the road. Also, my buddy Nate Craig was a great comic, super underrated. I think one of the funniest comics in the country. Look up Nate Craig's stuff. He's actually on the Netflix show Maniac. The dude got a Netflix, got cast as a regular on a Netflix show without fucking any real industry help or anything like that. That dude's fucking awesome. Anyhow, he would sell a Dropbox link or something like that, or he would say, "Give me your email for $20. Give them like a card. That way they had something tangible." And then he has their email, so forever he Dropbox links the company. And what's cool about this company, I'm not gonna say it now because then people will Google it and then be able to download my album right now. Is that when I give the link, you have to put your email in.
Mm-hmm.
So you'll get the link and then type your email in, and then I'll get the email. So it's not going to spam; it's going to me. And it's a nice way to keep in contact with people and all that kind of shit.
Yeah.
Anyway, what were we talking about before you went to take a piss?
Well,
We gotta wrap that up.
actually-
Oh, I'm sorry. We're talking about like getting fucking conned and shit like that.
Oh yeah, but
Dude, go ahead, Joe.
well, I was gonna switch topics, but we can talk about getting conned.
You know what? I got to piss
Like
now.
America has
Fernandez,
been.
you talk to James. Don't plug shit because it's boring back-to-back content for podcasts.
No, I'm not gonna plug.
Talk about something silly with James while I go piss real
No,
quick.
well, James, maybe you could. Okay, so you're a married fella.
I am.
All right, so I keep in contact with my ex-girlfriend. Also, I lived with my ex-girlfriend for a year or whatever, right?
Okay.
So we still
I've
are
been
keeping.
there.
We still are keeping in touch. I don't know how long because like it wasn't a breakup of acrimony.
How long did you date?
4.5 years.
And you're still in touch?
Yeah,
How long
but
have
we
you
lived
been?
together for a year after we broke up, so we just moved out May 1st of like the past month or whatever.
Okay.
But some people think that's weird, and I will say living together for a year after you
I
break up
mean,
is weird for
Well,
sure.
If it was like an amicable split, like who cares? Like
Well, and that's I think it's
you
one
can
of those-
like each other, you're people.
No, right, and
You
that's
know?
where that. But also, so I've had some friends who are like, "Oh, I'll set you up with some girl, this or that," and it's like I don't. It's one of those things where it's like I realize I'm not a relationship person.
This
I
is how
can't
you
do it.
found out you can come with a limp dick. Right?
Yes,
Okay.
exactly. It was like, what do I need you for?
Right.
I can have wet dreams on my own.
Can't wait.
But
Well,
but-
what's the issue? People think it's weird.
people think, but also it's like, no, people trying to set me up with people, and I'm like, no, I realized I'm not a relationship person. Like, you have to have a lot of time and dedication
Okay, yeah.
for another human in your life, right?
Right.
And everyone
Is
keeps
that a
being like,
permanent state for you, or do you think that?
yeah, I think it is a permanent state for me. Like it's like one of those things where people talk about being gay or straight as a choice. It's like I'm sure being monogamous or
Sure.
just being out and about
Yeah.
is not a choice. It's like you have to realize at some point
Yeah, it's part of who you are.
who you are, right?
Yeah.
And same with like so that dog that we both kind of adopted just because like the dog needed a home, right?
Yeah.
So it's with her right now, and some people are like, "Well, why don't you have the dog?" And I'm like, "Because I don't have the time or the money
Yeah.
or
dude.
whatever." It's like it's happier. It's with her, with her
Right.
family up in Minneapolis. It's like a God, I'm giving out information, but like it's happier
It's
up
in a
there. 'cause
better
it has a
place.
yard
Yeah.
with, and it's never home alone, almost exclusively never home alone.
Yeah.
I just don't. I think folks don't. It's like if you realize who you are, like yeah, I'd love to be able to be that kind of person, but you can't. So it just is harder to realize when people are like, you have to get married, you have to have kids. It's like
You don't have to do anything.
no, right. But also, if it's not who you are, then what?
Right.
I don't know. It's just a bad idea to get into a relationship if you're not that type of person. You know,
Well, yeah, because then you're hurting two people.
you're hurting yourself and Johnny Cochran.
That's right.
I'm gonna make so many OJ references from here on out because it's
Thank
timely.
God, yeah, we need to rehash all that shit.
Mm.
Nah, dude, you're fine.
Innocent or guilty?
OJ?
Yeah.
So innocent,
Dude, it was his kid.
Yeah, for sure, dude.
Have you seen dude? The conspiracy theories about OJ are crazier than 9/11.
Well, let's go down this whole.
Okay,
right
yeah.
now.
No,
So hold on. There's a light switch by your foot, or a switch on the floor. You see it? It's glowing red. Turn it off and turn it back on.
Are you serious?
Yeah, turn it off and turn it back on.
The power?
Turn that off and turn it back on.
What the fuck?
My
did I
power is
miss?
over here. Okay.
I thought you were talking about
Turn it on.
Joe's
Turn it on.
sex
Turn
waste.
it on. Now we're gonna have TVs, so
I'm
we
back.
can look at O.J. Simpson conspiracy theories.
That's where we ended up.
Yeah,
I thought we were gonna find Lawrence Fishburne's daughter, Montana Fishburne.
we can do that too. I got that in another
Let's
tab.
go back to back with that.
I got that in a tab right here. Hold on.
Do you guys normally go like watch YouTube videos and shit?
We can't air them, right? Or
Oh, yeah.
you can't really show them.
I will be able to next week.
It's not like the greatest fucking podcast. You know, it was fun when we talked about Kate Upton once on a podcast because I love her, so we gave like a.
She's
I
married
forgot
to
do the
Verlander.
cheers. Yeah, he is. We were doing like a cheers to. I started a fucking thing. Remember, I had the bottle of whiskey, so we were doing shot glass.
Oh,
We did like 3. I would do like a here's to this person and here's to that person, where me and the listener do a shot. So maybe me and you could do a cheers to Montana Fishburne. You know what I mean? Because
Hey.
cheers to her, and here's why.
Mm.
I had to take a sip.
Hey, how about that? We did it at the same time, and also I'm surprised because some people don't do that down and then up. You know?
Actually, it's funny that has anti-Semitic background. I'm not kidding.
Is that real?
No. So what? For listeners who aren't watching on video, if you're not watching on YouTube or Facebook Live, we did like a cheers. We hit drinks, hit our cans of beer, then touched the table, then went back up and drank. I had a buddy who was in Vegas, and Jewish guys told him because they were like drinking with some random people, and they go, "Oh, let's do a shot." You know, they did shots, and you know, it's a very Chicago thing to hit the shot glass, go down to the
go
bar,
up, yeah.
and go back up. And the guy said to me, he goes, "That thing you did after we did our shots, where'd you pick that up?" And my friend was just like, "Why is this guy being a cute?" He thought it was like weird the way the guy was. He had like a tone. He goes, "Nah, just in Chicago, that's what we do. We just hit him and go up and do it." He goes, "All right, well, let me tell you what the history behind that. It's up with Hitler, down with the Jews. Drink."
What?
Holy shit.
I'm not.
Oh,
I know
man,
I made
this is
jokes
crazy
earlier,
to see
but
this.
holy shit! Hold on.
Okay, so I found Montana.
You know what? If
for
you're gonna follow up anti-Semitism with anything, it's Lawrence Fishburne's daughter fucking people on Pornhub.
Hold on, is this an ad?
Also, what is
Lawrence
with guys
Fishburne
who
might
want?
have a lazy eye, but no, actually, that's Forrest Whitaker. God damn it!
This is so weird. I never have understood dudes who watch porn with other dudes. I don't get it, and I don't understand people casually watching porn. It doesn't make sense to me, dude.
We're not watching with other dudes, and man, she's
It's
got
still
like butt
weird.
acne. She's got butt acne. Do they never have a makeup person on
This
these
is
porn?
weird. I don't want to watch porn. This is fucking weird.
Yeah. By the way,
Hey, you guys
real quick,
wanted it.
Fernandez. It's been on for 8 seconds, and you're already like, "Oh my god!"
It's just weird, dude.
Dude,
I
it's
mean,
weird if we all got together and we're like, "Go watch some porn."
What
I
was the
feel
other
like-
thing?
But
Oh, yeah,
you
OJ.
mentioned Lawrence Fishburne's daughter doing porn. We investigated. We got a clip of it up, and you're acting like we're a bunch of dudes who are about to come on a cookie.
no, but
That's not
I
what's
remember in
happening.
high school being like, guys
Come
would
on.
put on porn in a group setting and being like, this is what you do on your own when you're jacking off. Like,
Yeah,
this
no.
is
fun
not
of
something.
porn in groups.
Huh?
You never made fun of porn with your.
You're
with
making
your
fun. We're not,
homies?
dude. No one has their pants around their ankles.
Yeah,
Joe.
dog. Come on.
It still
was
was
a flashback
weird.
to
It
a
was.
weird
I don't
time.
know. It's just. I just find it strange.
You're
All right,
weird.
dude. I'm sorry I made you uncomfortable.
Here, the
Hey, you
four
know
most
what? You're the
popular-
Joe Biden now.
I'm the Joe Biden.
I'm not. Dude. Some, in
Forcing
the
porn on
future,
people.
I want
if
you
Joe
to.
Biden forced porn on people. I think he's gonna win the election.
I want
for
you to
sure.
get famous so I can go on MSNBC and go, yeah, Joko Gallon and James Webb maybe watch Lawrence Fishburne's
Fuck,
daughter.
yeah, we
fuck
did.
on
Dude, I
TV.
am famous.
I'll send them the clip.
Gonna get famous, motherfucker. I am
Oh,
famous. That was
here
a
it is.
Popeyes
This
commercial.
now this I'll get horny to.
All right, so go ahead and read that, somebody.
If the theory doesn't fit, you must acquit. The 4 most popular OJ conspiracy.
Who told you to put the bomb on? Who told you to put the bomb on?
What's
That's
the
bomb?
bar?
The
That's
what?
from Seinfeld.
Okay, here's the one.
Oh,
bomb or a
yeah.
bomb?
Here's the one you pitched to me, Fernandez. OJ didn't do it. His son did. But why?
That actually makes sense, man. I read this theory before too.
The alternate theory that's received the most traction in the mainstream media, private detective Bill Deer's suspicion that the real killer was Jason Simpson. How, though? Where it doesn't even say.
How though? His mom, he knew his mom was fucking around. I think he confronted them, saying, "Mom, stop fucking this dude."
No, well, it just set it up there though. If you go back up for a little bit,
Okay.
Deer's evidence is largely circumstantial.
go. Hang on, wait, go back.
Well, I mean, it was there until he started scrolling.
Is this good for listening? Is
I
someone
burp
just-
into the mic all the time.
Yeah.
I don't fucking
Keep making
spit
noise.
into the mic like you just did. You went and then went.
And then he hired a serial. We're just gonna go through these. He hired a serial killer to do it for him. He did it because he was being mind controlled by the Illuminati.
Hang on, wait.
Oh, yeah.
The second one is so like the third one's crazy, but the fourth one, OJ didn't do it. The murders were a case of mistaken. What?
Yeah, I don't know. Look at this guy.
Dude, the
with
second
his
one's my
earring.
favorite.
You know, I was rooting for him when I was a kid because I loved Naked Gun.
I like the Illuminati mind.
OJ
control
didn't
thing.
do
What
it
is
because it
this?
was a case of mistaken identity. But the thing about hiring a serial killer means you have to go like, all right, who's someone who's murdered a bunch of people but hasn't been caught?
Yeah, oh my God.
I gotta figure it out.
Hey, man, real quick. I'm not saying anything, but it's probably you, right?
Dude,
You've been killing those people.
Your name is Brian
Shut the
Thompson
fuck up,
Kilgallen, BTK, right?
Why are
Can
you
I?
gonna kill Gallon? What up, dude?
What up, man? I'll be right up.
Who is that?
Just
That's
Sarab.
Oh,
Funny comedian.
Is he a
Dude.
podcast here too?
No, he's not. He's here for other reasons.
He's John.
Hey, buddy.
Wait, do you live
Your
here?
beard looks tight, my friend. Looks good.
Come on and sit in.
If we had a
Yeah, do you want
microphone,
a
you
mic?
could jump on if you wanted.
All right, all right.
We got a pussy in the house.
You want an old style? All right. Well, you won't get on a mic, but you'll take a free beer.
How about you go hang out at Six Flags with the children? James Webb's like Six Flags.
I do like Six Flags. It's fun.
I do too, actually, to be honest.
We
I
just
was
the
mad-
OJ.
fucking
We're
hate
talking about
roller
OJ.
coasters,
Huh?
Joe.
No, I love.
You're making fun of Six Flags.
No, I
for
want to
it.
go skydiving too, by the way, because roller coasters are a little
That's
too safe.
terrifying.
What?
Oh, I would.
Do you
never
like roller
that.
coasters? I'm not a roller
of
coaster guy. I
course.
fucking hate them. They scare the shit out of me.
What?
Yeah, dude.
How
Stuff
do you get
like,
scared of something that is clearly safe and it's just kind of fun to like
It's not
fucking?
cool. Have you been on the Zipper, the fucking carnival ride that's killed thousands of people? Thousands.
The
More people
Zipper?
die on the Zipper at fucking
This is
Catholic
a
Church
crazier
carnivals
conspiracy theory
than
than-
the Latin Kings have ever killed in the city of Chicago. That's just a fact. That
Is the
just a
zipper
fact.
just?
The Zipper? You are in a fucking cage and you fucking go around and around, and it moves this way while the whole thing goes around. It's fucked up, man.
Is the zipper like a?
They're gonna do like an Asian stereotype.
No, I was
fucking
gonna
thing
say
right
it's
now?
a name of a pedophile who.
Unzips his dick.
So wait, where happened to the thing?
He fucking went away because he had
Oh.
to do some shit.
Oh, okay.
Side job.
How come OJ gets such a bad rap? You know, 2000. Dude, I used to do a bit. Or no, maybe I just did the Roast of Kanye, where it's like Robert Kardashian probably like had a little bit of pride in OJ, and maybe more than Kim.
You know I'm in that show.
What?
I was an extra.
In the People versus OJ?
Yeah, I grabbed
like
David
the-
Schwimmer.
What?
So in the scene, I think it's in episode 1, when David Schwimmer tries to get past the police barricade to get. Hey, later, buddy. When he gets in past the police.
So good seeing you. I
About
doubt
time.
it.
So when
Red
Dave-
hair don't care.
when David Schwimmer. That's more inside Chicago shit no one cares about. But appreciate it. When David
Well, but it applies to you too.
when David Schwimmer tries to get past where he's like, I'm on the list, and he just tries to go past the police barricade, me and another cop, I was a cop extra. We like, I literally had to grab David Schwimmer by the shoulder. He wanted to make it real, so he's like, I'm gonna go full speed, so fucking give me a great grab, you know. So I like grab him, it's kind of like, back the fuck off, Ross. You know, I don't say that really, but I did talk to him briefly in between takes. And here's something embarrassing. I think it's a good thing to end the podcast on. I feel like. You ever just lie for a reason in which you're like, why the fuck did I lie? Why did I do that?
Oh, you get caught up in the moment and you say something fuck yeah.
So I'm talking to him briefly, and I kind of mentioned, you know, I'm from Chicago, and I was in LA for like less than a year, I think, at that point. It seems like 2015ish maybe, and I was talking about how, James, you left the room, but I was an extra on the show, The People versus O.J. Simpson,
Oh hell yeah,
and you
dude.
could see me in a scene in which I grabbed David Schwimmer. I was a cop. He plays Robert Kardashian and tries to get past me.
Fine.
And I don't know how you're gonna find it other than just looking up the episode and going and rewatching it. But anyhow, so I was talking to him like between takes, and I mentioned Chicago, and he's like, "Oh, you're from Chicago?" And I was like, "Yeah, you know, I didn't move here that long ago." But he goes, "Oh, what part?" And I mentioned, "Oh, I grew up like Irving and Milwaukee." He's like, "Oh no, I know it." He goes, "I lived all over the North Side mostly." Because David Schwimmer lived in Chicago for a while,
Right.
Northwestern, and
He's,
then did,
he
like,
found it Looking Glass Theater.
yeah, and
downtown,
then, did acting stuff, and then while Friends was going on, he would in the off season live in Chicago. So they would film in LA, and then he'd live in Chicago like in the summers, which is a great deal, really. And then we're talking, and then he mentions like, "Oh, I actually still have a place in the West Loop." I go, "Oh, nice. Have you ever been to like I go, "Great restaurants over there." He goes, "Oh yeah, the best." I go, "Have you been to the Girl and the Goat?" I asked him that, and because a week earlier, a friend of mine had mentioned they went to the Girl in the Go in the West Loop, and
You'd never been.
I'd never been, and he was like, "Yeah, I go there all the time. I love it." I go, "Oh, it's fantastic. It's the best," you know. And
Yeah, that happens to every
I don't know
human.
why I lied to
No,
him
I
about
know,
that,
but
maybe I wanted David Schwimmer to think I was cool. What did I think was going to happen?
People do that on dates, much
Yeah,
less meeting
that's true.
David Schwimmer from.
One of the biggest sitcoms of all time.
Well, I was also going to try and make a reference to a movie that was a little obscure. He like plays a WGN reporter. It's like him and Jason Lee.
He's
Fuck,
been in
they're-
a couple movies. David
He's, like, in
Schwimmer.
love-
He's been in a few.
David Schwimmer's in love with some woman. He's like a Cubs reporter, and Jason Lee. He convinces Jason Lee to try and pursue his girlfriend to see if she'll cheat on him.
Kissing a Fool.
Yeah,
Ah.
Did you just look it up?
Yeah.
Yeah, Kissing a Fool. It's a good movie. I like rom-coms, man. That's the other thing. So the
I do
people,
too. You ever see? I was going through my DVD Blu-ray collection. Have you ever seen just our Friends with Benefits? Justin Timberlake.
I've never
Mila
seen that
Kunis?
one.
Underrated movie.
Yeah.
So good.
Keeping the Faith, man.
Who's in that one?
Edward Norton, Ben
Oh, that
Stiller,
blonde
and
chick?
Jenna Elfman.
John Elfman. Yeah.
Do you think, dude? Also,
She's
by
like
the way,
6'9". Not really, but
she's
looks
super
sick.
attractive,
She
though,
looks
right? Is she
Yeah,
not?
man. Yeah.
So I was having an argument
I
with a
would,
couple
I would
people,
put her on my dick and spin her around like a goddamn pinwheel.
or a dreidel.
Or I would just lay her down and make love to her gently like a gentleman.
But like I was like, a couple people were like, "Nah, she's not that attractive." I'm like, "Are you insane?" Like, this is the thing that I think people forget is like, yeah, they're movie stars. They're still hot as shit. Like, they're still.
Dude, the women in TV shows and movies, there's those commercials for like IKEA cars or Ford commercials where that's that same woman in every one. If you saw her in person, you'd be like, she's smoking
Yeah,
hot.
you.
These women are incredible. I'm not even kidding. Like, the women who play the fourth lead, who aren't even cast as the hot girl, are still fucking hot.
Yes.
They have these great bodies that you just don't even notice. It's living in LA for 3.5 years I was there. It's nuts, the
Yeah.
talent pool out there. It really is.
Let's go to Galway after this. What do you think? You
I
guys
gotta hit
wanna
up
go?
CJ Toledano and figure it out. But
CJ Sullivan's in town.
CJ Toledano.
Oh.
What are you gonna plug, man? You got anything you're gonna tell people to follow
Actually,
you on?
30 Characters Podcast is a fun little
Yes,
silly
people need to
one.
check that out.
It's very fun. So
I got some tips for you guys on how to promote
It's a little
better.
over. Oh, promote better. I was
Yeah.
gonna say it's a little. Like every time I've listened back to, it, I'm like, it's a little overwhelming. It's a lot of stuff going back and forth. And
It's
shit.
funny. I've listened to only a couple episodes. I really enjoyed it. I think it's great. And for all I know, you guys have better numbers than we do. But I noticed.
I can't.
on
We
the
were the
promo-
111th most popular podcast in Israel, from what we found out.
Oh, that's something.
We got an email.
That's
I don't even
something.
know what like. What was 100?
Dude, I'm happy with the loyal listeners that we got.
I kind of feel bad
Obviously,
'cause
you're
I
always
feel
trying
like,
to build more.
but I feel like 112th must have been like the Mein Kampf podcast. You know what I mean? In Israel, like how many are there that
many
are?
fucking horrible things are we gonna say? Or is that sect of people today?
No, Mein Kampf is a cool little band that's all about pro-Jewish.
Oh,
rights.
they sing that song. Ich Backstein. What's that?
Rammstein, baby.
Yeah, whatever that is.
Du hast?
Yeah. Du hast mich. Du hast mich gefahren. That is not a sexy language. Sorry, my German friends. It is not attractive. All right, this has been Kilgallen's Pub. Everyone listening to this, tell your friends, share the link, rate us on iTunes, write us a review. Although iTunes is going away, so Apple Podcasts, where the fuck you
Is
listen to
iTunes
shit.
going away?
Yeah, it is. Stitcher, we're on SoundCloud, Google Play, Spotify. We're on that shit. We're on Spotify. So, yeah, we love doing it. Keep it going. The Patreon has hidden bonus content and stuff I've had to remove, plus stuff that was never aired regularly through the podcast. Also, you could get first crack at the album. It comes out next week. And, I love doing this. So the more you could support, the more it helps because, it's just better to make some money off of
Yeah,
it
of
than
course.
not make money off of it, even though I'm not in it for the money. I'm in it for the fucking love of the game, kids. That's what I'm about. We didn't even talk about NBA Finals. Shit, I'll have to say that for next week. Are you an NBA? You're an NBA
Well,
fan?
the only game
You're a
I've watched
Rockets
is-
fan, man.
Right. Well, I'm actually rooting for the Warriors only so people will stop giving them shit for losing to them without Durant. Because it's like, I just find it frustrating because it's like the owner and the GM are like, this is unacceptable. It's like, no one's gotten past them. Cleveland got past them only because Draymond Green got suspended in Game 5 of the
And Andrew Bogut got hurt, so they lost a rim protector.
Yes.
So,
So
no
they
one getting rebounds.
lost in Game 7 in a close game. Otherwise, they dominated Cleveland. The Rockets played them better than Cleveland did the last 2 years.
Yeah.
Let's not pretend like somehow it's like, why are the Rockets a
Well,
failure?
Golden State only swept one team last year, and it was Cleveland in the finals. Which
Yeah,
proves
I mean,
my theory that the NBA...
LeBron James is overrated. No, because if he's in the West, that means he doesn't get past the Warriors either and doesn't
No.
go to the finals. And they talk about how come he can't get
the
to the
finals record is bullshit because it's under the assumption that the two teams in the finals are the best two teams in the league, which is not the case at all.
I'll tell you this.
Sometimes the team representing one conference is the seventh rate. Dude, like when the New Jersey Nets won the fucking NBA Finals in 2003
Against the I
or
do remember that,
2002
yeah.
or some shit. They were like the seventh best
Let's
team in
not
the fucking league.
underrate Kerry Kittles on that.
Even
thing.
Iverson, who I have my faults with because I feel like he ushered in the era of it's okay to travel. He kind of ushered that in, even though I do have respect for his game a lot, Allen Iverson. Fucking the year the Lakers played them, they stole one game.
Yeah.
You tell me the 76ers were the second best team, or were they not the fifth or sixth best team? The
Right.
76ers.
Well, no, that's why. Because if the Rockets were in the East, I feel like they'd have at least beat LeBron a couple times. Because they
For sure.
fought again.
For sure they
the
would've.
last 2 years, they fought off the Warriors better
sure.
than the Cavs did.
Well, because
so,
they have a superstar. The NBA playoffs, like the East last year, the reason Boston couldn't get over the hump to beat them is they didn't have a superstar. Well, they have Kyrie, but
to
he
be
wasn't
fair,
playing.
they were actually better without Kyrie. I mean,
Well, they were, but here's the thing about the playoffs. You're not winning a playoff round without a superstar.
yeah.
Because you need that one go-to guy that's going to get calls. You need that one guy who knows at the end of the game it's my turn. Like yesterday, Toronto Raptors have Kawhi Leonard, who's a superstar, Lowry, who's an all-star, even though I don't know how he became an all-star. He averaged 14 points a game.
Yeah.
Look, he's a very good player. Borderline all-star.
No
every
wonder
other
that guy
year.
shoved him.
Yes, borderline. Anyway, though, so it's Kawhi Leonard and a bunch of really good role players. But in crunch time, Kawhi Leonard took over that game. Their coach called it the dumbest timeout in the history of
Dude,
the
actually, I was
NBA.
watching that with my roommate, Blake
never
Burkhart.
saw a dumber timeout. Blake's been on the podcast. so
Yeah,
you can
no,
mention him.
up 6 points,
Good dude.
and you're rolling.
Like you had all the momentum, and then he calls a timeout, which gave
The
Golden State
Warriors
a
were
chance to
tired. They were
reset.
chucking threes. They were just like, "Fuck, we're done."
Yeah, and it was just so stupid. I never saw anything that dumb.
I'm glad you said that too. 'Cause when I said it last time, I'm like,
I
Am I
can't
wrong
believe the
that-
announcers weren't calling that shit out.
Yeah.
I was on a text with my cousins, and my cousin Danny first pointed out, and I was rolling high, so I'm like, right when I read the text from him, he goes, "What a dumb timeout." I'm like, Kawhi's breathing heavy. Maybe it's just whatever to reset them. And then he goes, "No, they were playing shit defense. They were out of place. They were running on fumes. It was." And I'm like, "Fuck, I think he's right." And then Golden State starts with this on a 6-0 run. Curry 3, Clay
Yeah.
3. Game changed that quickly, and I'm like, "Fuck." I texted him back in the thread going, "You're 100% right."
what do you think of that, real quick, before we take off? Boogie Cousins with that. Wasn't
He
that
fouled him at the end.
No, but wasn't that goaltending call kind of bullshit? Where it's like they said it was
There
not,
wasn't a definitive angle. No,
I
the
think-
one angle looked like, the ball's out of the rim.
And I'm saying, but
Or off
there's
it,
some certain angles. You know how like fastballs look like they're rising,
Yeah.
but they're not. So it's like certain angles will make it look like something that it's not.
Well, that goes both ways though. The one angle doesn't it? Doesn't the angle make it
I
look
mean,
like the
there's-
ball was
but
off
the
the
one
cylinder?
that's
But the other way-
closest, the one that's closest to the rim from above, should be the definitive angle, not the one that's from underneath.
it wasn't conclusive. I was okay with that one. That wasn't that much of a. All I know, well, it's a wash because the NBA releases a thing called the last 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Which is kind of cool, but also weird, where they'll literally say, "Oh, our refs fucked up."
Yeah.
They'll admit it. And Cousins fouled Gasol, and it wasn't called. And if that's called, he sinks both free throws. Then really, instead of losing by one, they would have been up by one going into that last
Yeah.
possession. So, I mean, that's a make or break game. My thing with the whole Golden State-Toronto thing is that, well, here's the difference. Like Toronto last year, they had, what's his name, DeRozan. He's not a superstar.
No,
He's a
of course not.
He's
Yeah.
a good player. But you need that guy who knows it's my time to have the ball. I'm going to do what it takes. I'll draw the fouls. I'll put the team on my back in that moment. And if you don't have that in the playoffs, you're not going to go very far.
That was
I mean,
crazy.
there's-
Kawhi, I got home when Kawhi started that run of just 10 points.
That was like a Jordan mode thing. It was
Yeah.
impressive. And it sucks that it ended with the timeout. Because I remember going like, man, this is the closest thing I've seen to Jordan. And he plays both sides of the ball. He's an amazing player. He's not playing 100% either. People forget to mention that. He's clearly not 100% with the way he's been moving, but he wills his way. What I like about Kawhi is he does what his team needs. And it is a throwback to how teams used to be constructed before All-Stars were like, let's have brunch and then hang out every day and play together.
Yeah. That's
yeah,
why you
I'm-
can't feel bad for the Warriors because it's like, all right.
No, fuck
yeah.
them. And I didn't feel. Look, it started with Miami. The fucking Miami Heat started that shit with the top 3 free agents. I know people want to say, what about Boston? Bullshit. Boston was trades. Those guys were, one guy was signed, one guy was traded for, and one guy was already on the fucking team. The difference with Miami was Dwayne Wade, Chris Bosh, and LeBron James got together for brunch on South Beach and said, wouldn't it be great if we all played together? And that's never happened in the NBA before. In the NBA, unlike other sports, those were the top 3 free agents available.
Yeah.
That free agent class, those were 1, 2, and 3. And they all joined together. That set a precedent where it's like, oh, it's okay to do this.
Yeah.
So when Durant left and people were like, what a bitch, I'm like, fuck you. LeBron set that standard of, it's a little hard. I'm going to go and play with other all-stars. So then it made it where you have to compete. So like when LeBron left Miami to go to Cleveland, he went for a younger version of what he had in Miami. Love was a younger version of Bosh. Kyrie was a younger version of Wade. That was it.
Yeah.
He needed to play with 2 other all-stars. The difference is Golden State initially I liked because their all-stars were drafted. They drafted Draymond,
Curry
they
and
drafted
Thompson,
Curry,
yeah.
they drafted Thompson. None of them were like a top 5 draft pick either. They were all like 7, 8, 9 or some shit like that in different drafts too. Or Draymond might have been like the end of our first round draft. They might have been the same draft as Clay, I think. I can't remember exactly. But that was an organic team construction. When they added KD, that was the over the top like this is video.
And then
game
they added
bullshit.
Boogie this past
won
year.
70
like
Yeah, Boogie made it even so where now NBA players who are like, I'm coming off an injury and my value is a little low, I'll sign for the league minimum, get myself a ring, raise my value, and go sign a max deal somewhere else. It just made they got to the next NBA like player agreement or whatever, CBA, with the union and the league, they're gonna have to fix that somehow. Because I just don't think that's good. I don't know how they're going to.
the players have the leverage, I think, at this point.
They do. I mean, I just want to see. That's why I'm rooting hard for Toronto. And not only that, but I made the bold prediction of Toronto in 6. I'm not. I got the tweet and the Facebook post, so you know I'm rooting hard for them on Thursday night.
Well, I mean, it's weird.
I want to look right, but everyone laughed at me. They called me a fucking idiot. How could you think this?
I don't know why baseball has the strongest union. I couldn't tell you. You'd think NBA would because it's so dependent.
Sport.
It's so dependent on star players, though, in the NBA more than any other sport.
You're right. That's a good point. You think the NBA especially because the
if
players
they were to have
so recognizable.
replacement players, oh my God, would no one give a shit about the NBA?
Nobody would. The NBA's regular season ratings were down the last 2 years, actually. People watch come.
But I think that's the case with all sports. I think if you look across all sports,
yeah, there's a lot of different things to watch, I guess. With
and
content.
youth participation is down in all sports too, because kids just want to stay in.
Well, you know what they're fucking up youth sports with is travel leagues. They learn how to monetize this. I saw a whole thing on 60 Minutes, and there's a documentary on Netflix where if you don't have your kid in travel sports, like it used to be just when AAU first came about. That's why all these guys want to play with each other. They all play with each other in AAU, so they knew each other even though they were in different parts of the country. What's that?
Since they were 13 or whatever.
Yeah, whatever the fuck it was. And now all sports are like that, where to get seen by colleges if you're not playing travel and all this. It sucks because it used to be, oh, I like this sport. I'm gonna go play at my local park.
Well, also it didn't be.
You know?
It wasn't specialized. Like once you're good at something by the age of 10, you know.
Yeah, it's fucking over. All right, well, I'm glad we got a little bit of the NBA talk in. Fernandez.
I drank 6 to your 4, by the way.
Did I only have the 4 and you had 6?
I'm on my 7th.
Well, who was there's? It's 12-pack. You're in your 7th.
Yeah.
Very nice. I'm being very nice.
Oh, I went.
Well, I
here,
gave one away.
Here, take that.
I gave one away.
We'll take
Nah,
that
it's
one.
fine. I got to wake up earlier tomorrow. All right. Well, this has been Kilgallon's Pub, everybody. I hope you enjoyed it. Like I said before, the album's coming out. Spread the word. It'll be on YouTube. Share the links. I just want people to see the fucking thing and enjoy it. And let's keep moving forward. All right, everyone. This has been Kilgallon's Pub. Cheers.
Go backwards.